Hello, everyone. How you're all doing?
Hey, guys. Okay, so Paul here. I'm just going to do a quick introduction. There's a whole lot of us in this chat today. It's the end of the year stream for us. Mostly what we're not showing you any animation in this one. It's more based around the comic. Excuse me. So, anyways, I want to introduce everyone. We're going to start off with Will or Nex or Fen or however you know him by.
And good.
Next, there we go. And he's our new artist for the comic. After that, we got Eric in here. Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah, he's our writer for Season 3, animated and for the comic and all that. We have Tim, as you all know. He's always around. And then we got some old guys in here. We got Steven, who drew for the comic for a couple chapters. And who else am I missing? Oh, Keith's here, sadly.
Oh,
oh, charming.
And then I got another guest. We got the original Allison or Sonic, the actual creator and founder of Fans Unite for Saturday AM, the reason why we're actually all here today.
Hello.
So, hi guys.
Hey there.
Hello. Well, just a little bit of house cleaning first. I thought, just for a bit of fun, I'd get this out of the way for Keith. So, if you bear with me a second.
Yeah, I've been promised something more disastrous or terrifying than Buff Sonic.
So
let's see.
That wonderful little bit from Keith there.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to know.
Okay, bear with me. I'm going to want to make sure I can get this one to work. It's not working. Go on, work, damn you. Hang on, bear with me. I'm going to enjoy.
Quote.
What? See, it's your fault for tweeting him that, Keith.
Enjoy.
Oh,
I will not take any responsibility for Will's actions.
I think we can all agree that this is everyone's fault except mine.
Robustnik.
Oh God, Keith. Or, no.
Yeah, well,
didn't they see that in a comic once?
Probably. I mean, I got the idea from it from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. You always had the Superman costume.
Oh,
Lovey.
this is totally...
We got Damn That's Powerful. Hell no.
Okay, well that's done with. So let's get on with the
Oh,
drama.
that's a Sonic.
Yeah, enjoy.
Oh.
Right, anyway, I should get back to doing this. Again, for anyone who actually knows how to draw, I do apologize for what you're about to watch. I get a bit kind of chaotic and weird. Anyway, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Everyone has their own unique way of approaching things. If anyone saw my Photoshop files whenever I did the comic, it would be a huge nightmare.
Oh, when you were just drawing or sketching for fun of it, yeah.
This is a great reunion here. Steven here and I did the second half of Chapter 5 and Chapter 6 together. I did the penciling and inking, and he would do the coloring and the words. He was my partner in crime back then. That was so fun. I really enjoyed doing this comic with you, Steven. I miss you.
And then we also have, well, Allison, because the only reason why there's a Season 3 comic is she had started one when did you actually start yours?
It was shortly after we started shortly after I started the website.
Yeah, okay. That's going back to 2000?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It was 2000, 2001. I remember I was in college.
Oh, I can feel my bones disappearing.
Right?
Yeah, well, I think I joined in 2002. I want to say that. It was about 14 or 15. Oh, it's been a long time because it's 2020 now, so only 18 years, yeah?
Oh my God. Yep.
I thought this was supposed to be, an enlightening stream, not trying to make us all feel bad. Come on.
Oh, right.
Right, sorry, enlightening. Where we're totally not ancient as hell.
I'm not. I'm a spring chicken.
I joined FUS's forum a long time ago for a very brief amount of time. But I didn't stay very long, though. Not enough time to really get to know anybody. I got to know a few people, but not a lot of people.
I still remember FUS when it was before the second revamp. When it became that sort of black and blue thing.
Yes.
I remember watching the original one when it was black and red. I want to say.
Black and Red is when I took over.
Right, which one was the first one? Because I remember they went through
The
two
Black and-
revisions before it became the one that was developed by... Did Kef develop the current one?
No. Oh, no, that was the current one right now. That was developed by a different guy. I forget his name right now.
I think it was there when the season comic was like just getting going. I think, like the first generation of it.
I remember applying for that.
I remember
What
thinking
else
that I
now?
would never get a part of it because I think, oh man, they're gonna want better artists than me. That was my actual thoughts back then.
Oh, I was the complete reverse. I was like, I thought I was the hottest thing on the planet. I was like, there's no way they're going to reject me. And they were like, we kind of need someone a bit better than you. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, check your ego at the door, mate.
I think I did take just about anyone.
Oh, hey, we got a question here. Is it true that the composer for the original Saddam show is involved with this project? Hey, Huey, he was involved in our project. We were fully on board to get him to do the score for our episode. He delivered some like unreleased music to us, which was amazing. We got to hear that. We were in conversations with him for a while, but he's flipping expensive. We were planning to pay the price, but then we were doing this little thing with this guy Chewy. That's his username. What's his actual name again?
Nestor. I'm actually going to link.
Nestor. He was
Chewbacca.
doing a little music for us, and when he did that music, it came out like perfect. It was insane, the work that he did, and he's a lot cheaper, like a lot cheaper, and he's doing a perfect job. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna go with this guy, and we got the original composer. I forget the original composer. What's his name, Chief? My mind is flipping.
Well, here's Nestor's.
The no, not Nestor. What's the original composer for Saddam? What's his name?
Oh. Why are you doing this to me?
Because you're the
Isn't it
master sound.
Tavera? The
Yeah,
original
Tavera.
composer is
Tavera.
Tavera?
Mike
Mike
Tavera, yeah.
Tavera, right.
It's on the
Mike
tip of my tongue.
Tavera. And we got his blessing to do it too. He's very happy for us. He wishes us the best. And you guys are going to love the music that Esther is doing. I love it. I listen to it and I'm just in heaven.
If he doesn't give us a
Hey,
version of
did I,
Burning Way
miss
Pascal, I'll
anything?
be sad.
There you go, Mike Tavera. There we go. Okay, so we got that out of the way. I was on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, oh, why are you asking me these questions, Tim?
Yeah, apologies
Don't
for
make me
anyone in
do
these
things,
chats who
Tim.
has like epilepsy or any kind of flashing light problems. I do tend to flick and spin the canvas a fair chunk, so do apologise for that.
I think it's called. What program is this?
It's Procreate for the iPad.
Awesome program.
Here's a thing that's going to really, really upset Tim. I'm using an iPad mini.
I don't know how you do that.
It's because it's all I had access to.
You
Yeah.
monster.
Well, this iPad is actually, it used to be my I'm going to work and want to read an ebook type media consumer thing. And when I started drawing again back in March, I was like, I'll find a second-hand first-generation Apple Pencil and just kind of get to grips with it. I've just not upgraded yet.
Fancy.
It's great when you try to
I
go
have
over
no-
3,000 pixel-sized canvases because it goes, you better enjoy only having 4 layers, bucko.
But you do flip your canvas quite a bit.
It's mostly due to the
Holy.
hand injury. It's like my hand really only likes to move in certain directions, so in order to get certain angles, I've got to flip it. Flip it good.
Oh, right. So, okay, how did you hurt your hand in the first place again? I totally forgot.
It was a condition called a spastic ganglion. It lodged itself under the metacarpals. I keep wanting to call them metatarsals. It lodged itself under the metacarpals, making it very, very painful to grip a pencil for a protracted period of time. Went to the old doctors and they had a look at it and they basically went, look, we can get it out, but you will probably have to go to a specialised hand doctor and it will probably cause more harm than good, so you're probably better off just kind of living with it. And then, I keep wanting to say last year. Yeah, 2019. 2019, November 2019, a shelf collapsed on my hand, shattered the metacarpals, sunk a knuckle into my hand, and also pancaked the ganglion at the same time. So that's gone. And now my little finger constantly sticks out.
That's gross.
That sounds fun.
But now I can draw again.
There you
Okay.
go.
That's his story. He was actually chav hunting.
Oh my word. Wow, next.
See, I told you.
Someone asked, is Amy
Hey,
going to
this is-
show up?
Oh, no, she's
What?
not.
Oh, okay.
I feel
Somebody
like
asked
that's
it in
one
the
of those
chat.
things that I could answer, but I don't think Chief wants me to.
Oh.
What?
Um,
Is it Amy?
Yeah, if Amy's going to show up.
We cannot confirm or deny the showing up or not showing up of any characters. It's
Oh, no.
this. I mean, that would be spoiling the story. Some characters might come in,
It's a secret
but we
to
can't
everyone.
say who is or isn't.
Eric. Well, actually, Ray was asking you the question, but can you talk
I'm really
about
hoping the
the
chaotic
different
show up.
experiences in writing from the comic and the animated, like what the differences are between going from comic writing to trying to write an actual animation?
Schrodinger's Amy.
Yeah, the biggest thing is a matter of format. Because with a comic, in both cases, I'm not exactly a professional, but I do have a certain idea
There
of
you go, rubbish Amy.
Hey.
She's
how
in
they're
it now.
supposed to kind of look and flow. But like going into an animated script, there's a lot more. You need to be much more mindful of things like camera direction, framing, who's where, when. So the biggest difference is less a matter of what you're doing and much more about how you're doing it. Would be, I think, the most striking difference between the two.
Oh.
There's a lot of planning that goes into it.
I
Can-
actually
Oh, Rigo just answered
I
it.
did
Okay.
get a lot of help making sure I got the script of the animated one correct, the formatting.
Yeah, the formatting was a big one that, in order to get it sort of to also industrial standards and all that, that was a lot of formatting, a lot.
Yeah.
And we actually got quite a bit of help from somebody else in there. But yeah, I know that was actually. Because how many versions of that script do we have?
At least 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 6.
Because I
actual
know
revisions.
it's like the first draft, then we kind of did like the pro draft, and then we sort of made all these different revisions to it from there.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
about right.
it's gone through quite a few iterations.
I mean, that's the best way to make sure you get the best results.
Yeah, no, I'll say this much. The big thing that I keep running into as a writer for this series specifically is you just sort of have to keep hammering at it.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
It was a question. I
Yeah,
was
you're
gonna ask
never
with
going to get it on
regards
your
to
first go.
Like a lot. Like there's
Hey!
scenes and even individual lines I'll just go over and over again.
There was one of the
till I
questions I was
get
actually
it
going to ask with
right.
regards to the writer.
Actually-
Is that
Hey,
do you ever find yourself, Eric, wondering like backtracking on yourself and like having to go back to make sure that you're not stepping on works that say like Archie have done, been like, okay, I'm writing this awesome story. Hang on a minute, has Archie done this before? Am I going to get in trouble? Do you do stuff like that at all?
Not exactly. I don't, to the extent that I consider the Archie comics and how I write this at all, it's usually just a matter of like, oh, is there something cool they did that I could kind of draw from deliberately for this? Like, for obvious reasons, given all the legal stuff, you kind of want to be wary about doing too much of like Pender's things. But overall, no, I don't. I think of it less in terms of did they do this already, and more in terms of does this fit with what I'm trying to do, and if it does parallel something from one of the Archie comics or whatever, all the better, because it kind of, to me, makes it feel like a more coherent mythological tableau. Kind of the way that those ideas and symbols reappear in stories all the time. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I know what you kind of mean. It's like it's already got a pre-existing, like you said, mythology built around it. So if you end up treading over old ground, it's like you kind of feel like you were on the same wavelength as the previous writers, don't you?
Something like that, yeah.
yet, this is the Sonic Sad-Am universe, and we want to tell the unique story of the Sad-Am universe and what happens there.
Also true.
Why that relates to a question that we have in the chat from Wise1. What caused you to change some of Ben Hurst's notes in the comic, and do you think you might adapt all of his ideas in some form?
If I remember right, and it's been a long time now, so I'm not 100% sure I'm remembering the timeline correctly, but I'm pretty confident that we didn't have access to the full story notes that Hurst had done for the third season until after the comic had started, and until after I had started laying down some of my own ideas, not realizing it at the time that he ended up going over. But I do... Again, I can't say too much in terms of what we will or won't do for spoiler reasons, but I do want to at least try and honor a lot of the intent of some of the ideas he had for that.
Yeah, we didn't have a huge...
So in terms of why we changed some of it, a lot of it just has to do with we didn't know at the time.
Yeah, we were already, I think, 2 chapters in, or a few chapters from there. We found out more.
Yeah.
And you've got to, realize that even though you have an idea, when you start production on something, or even, you talk about it with other people, things can change. So Ben Hurst has these notes, but that doesn't mean that that's what Sad-Am would have ended up being. So it's not unreasonable to assume that we would honor those notes instead of just religiously following them.
Right.
Makes sense.
Buff
I have a
Sonic
question.
At this presentation. What's your question?
So more of
I'd like to...
a jumping off point than something to strictly follow.
Huh. Okay,
The
what else
question
do we
I
have in
have
the
is, because I'm not too familiar with FUS, I'd like to get to know the original artists that worked on the comics, if they'd like to present themselves or introduce themselves.
Who did we have?
I think the chat would, they can go over.
I distinctly remember one of the issues. It was Goldie. I remember seeing it on the Wayback Machine recently. Primus did art on one of them, if memory serves.
Is Prime still around?
Yeah, I chat to him every now and again.
Prime's still around.
Oh, really? Cool.
He
Man, I haven't talked to him in ages.
He lurks in the Discord.
Prime.
He's usually
Oh.
lured out if you talk about something like Ghostbusters or Aliens, and then he usually comes out of the woodwork.
Oh, yeah, that's... Okay, I'll have to look for him.
No, I talked to Prime just recently too. He's still around. But yeah, basically, unless you bring up, was it Ghostbusters, Aliens, or he really loved the Alien movies, didn't he?
Transformers is a good one.
Oh, Transformers, yes, that'll get him talking.
Yeah, the name should be a giveaway on that one.
Didn't you do? Was it you and Prime? You did that really, really good Transformer art next, like a long time ago.
Oh God, I don't know if I did. I mean, I remember doing a few bits here and there. I don't remember if. Problem was like after 2006, I had so many hard drive failures and moved between so many PCs. I've pretty much lost all my old work from that era. So I have no idea if I, by that point I pretty much oh, I'm never going to draw again. So, I pretty much didn't bother to go looking for it or trying to rebuild it.
Yeah.
No idea.
Hey, next, do you want to toss on some that background music we spent so long trying to get?
Yeah, sure.
Music?
Yeah, it's just the stuff that Keith was playing. It's the nice, smooth, jazzy kind of Sonic music.
It's heavy, heavy metal.
So Huey, someone on here wanted your project to air on Netflix, but I told them that may be an impossibility. What say you? Well, Huey, that's if we go official, and that's still, up in the air, work in progress. There's really nothing to say about that. But if we do go official, we would be seeking to go on Netflix or Disney Plus, a streaming service. We would rather not go on TV. We'd rather be on the streaming because that's probably a better platform for our particular medium.
And given the way the industry's going right now, streaming seems to be the future anyway.
I am working with. I'm working with Mark Blue, and he's helping us trying to get into the SAG/AFTRA union. So that's sort of one upside of where we're going here. And it's actually been really fun working with him over the past about a year and a half. I've been just chatting with him and starting to work on things. So he's been actually a good help for the project and just helping us out, even with the script and all that stuff.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
that was my job.
No. And those who aren't familiar with the name Mark, he was Season 1's rotor. So it's kind of good to have actual, alumni on board.
So what's his second name? I can never pronounce it. I want to call it Bellew or something like that.
Bellew? I don't know.
Bolu?
Bellew?
We are very sorry, sir, if we are butchering your name. Very, very sorry.
I'm sure we are.
Butchering. I like that.
We love you, really. Yours is the best rotor. What's it about season 2?
When you guys are
Way to stick up to the boss.
He's kind of the only rotor. He's the only and the best.
Remember when they mauled his design for no reason whatsoever in the second season? Because I sure do.
There's a
No,
guy
I thought he
in the
looked
chat who
great
said that he
with the
likes
shoes and the gloves.
season 2's design better. I think it was Huey. I think Huey said that.
Oh dear. Someone get the bucket.
Huey,
Um,
we think you're a weirdo, and we love you.
Speaking of redesigns,
Tim doesn't speak for all of us.
did anyone really care for the redesigns in the second season?
Antoine definitely
Most
not.
of
There's
them
something
sounds
about the
alright.
shape of his face just was like, yeah. It's the fact they merged his muzzle with like cheek fluff. It made his head look really weird. I'm sure they did it for comedic effect, just so when he
They
got
made his
shocked, it all
face
spiked
all-
out. But nah, didn't work for me.
The additional
feel like
effects.
I feel like most of the second season character models are a bit of a downgrade.
Well, we can all
okay.
agree that there
So-
was one fantastic thing from season 2, and that was Rebecca.
Oh, yeah.
Let's all give thanks for Rebecca.
It's unanimous opinion at last.
He needs to come back.
Oh, you're like
She could be in an
Antoine's
episode of
season 2
Sonic.
design.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
Eh.
Nelson,
There's an interesting thing going on here. So the guy asked, when you guys are Captain Nabil 7 question, when you guys are finished and release the first episode, are you going to go straight to making the next episode? The first episode is being treated as the pilot episode, so we are fully focused on making this episode first and foremost, and then we will release this episode out, and that episode will be our proof of concept of what we're capable of, what it looks like, and pretty much our huge pitch doing the rest of the whole season. So we're going to release that first, and then we will evaluate where we are after that for doing the rest of it.
So like a kind of a proof of concept, but a little an
expensive proof of concept, but yeah.
there we go.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, and all that.
Oh yeah, totally worth it. Every
And if anything,
little helps.
if all the sneak peeks and test work are to go by, a very nice looking proof of concept.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
also,
We all say
do you still talk to Tristan a lot?
And I was thinking about that the other day. I lost contact with him a long time ago.
Oh,
I think I might still have his Facebook.
Yeah.
But is he around, you know?
No, I haven't seen him in
Okay.
years and years and years, and it just randomly popped into my mind, going, "Huh, I wonder if you've been in contact with him at all."
No, I should try to find him.
Yeah.
Because, it was when you guys were talking about getting the stream together, I was thinking about him.
Yeah, because he was around forever. Like, he was with you from the start, wasn't he?
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's one of the originals.
Because what was your before my time? You ran a message board. It wasn't the FUD one. It was some like free message board or something like you ran.
There was a lot of variations of the message board.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't remember them all.
there's going to be another revamp here soon. I don't know if the message board, but the website's getting a revamp.
Ooh.
Yeah, the website's getting totally overhauled soon.
About
I
time.
believe
It's
there's a
been-
follow-up question.
Jeez.
So, Muchacho says, are you planning to go official? And if so, if it doesn't work out, will you try to get a bigger team for this with the first episode, even if it will be unofficial?
Well,
So,
bigger teams cost more money. The goal is to get as much as we can because we want to release this as fast as we can. And actually, you know what? Our team's grown quite a bit in the last, what do you say, couple of months since we started hiring the animators, John?
Now's a good time
Oh,
to
yeah,
plug
how
the
many we got?
Patreon. Hint, hint.
Diego, Jose,
Yeah, so we
Wink,
got
wink.
a
give
chunk
us
of
money.
animators
Oh.
working with us right now.
Oh.
And, well, we actually
Shall
got
we
a really good surprise
mention-
for you. Should we mention, yes, the trailer?
Names?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If you have the names on handy, go for it.
Oh, yes, I guess. Let me just get up their tags rather than their actual names. If you're in the chat, let us know if you don't want to be named. Let's see.
The Join. Are you
I
guys
got them on
going
the
to?
first name basis. I can't actually remember their tags. Let me see. I
The
think
Join
it's the
asks, "Are you
news
guys
table.
going to make
Ah.
a new?" Are you speaking while you're typing?
I'm not typing.
No, that's
Who's
next.
typing?
Will,
It's
is your spastic ganglion going crazy and typing?
Sir, how dare you mock my disability? It's also gone, and that's another story. But no, I'm still plugging away here. Don't worry.
Okay.
No idea who's typing. Not like
The
I'm-
Join.
Drawing.
Who's the
He asked
phantom
something.
keyboard
He-
typer?
He has something. I'm trying to say it. Are you guys going to make a new intro sequence for your animated episodes? If so, would it be
Ooh.
both new visuals and music, or one and not the other? That
Well,
is,
I'm gonna come
what?
out and say it's one and not the other.
it is one but not the other.
Yes. Which one?
So,
But it's
did you
definitely
guys
one without
approach-
the other. And we are currently animating a trailer, and you'll have actually a really big surprise when we get that pushed out. When is it going to be done? I'm not too sure yet. But the animators are going pretty full at it, so we'll see where that goes.
Could I answer the
Um,
intro thing?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if it doesn't go official, no chance of getting the trailer done because it's a lot of complicated animation to do, and a whole minute of it would just take too long for a fan project. However, if we do go official, it'll be amazing to get a nice intro piece animated.
It
Or
would
do
be,
you
but-
actually been
You've mentioned
kind
this
of
before that
imagining things?
the trailers are,
Huh?
or the intros are actually a lot harder to animate because it's a lot cleaner animation.
Oh yeah, the hook. What's gonna grab everyone? So at that point, they're like, "Oh, quality went right down." Not saying it will. I'm just remembering all those years of watching Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, they've got
So-
lots of crazy camera angles and special effects, and explosions, and
Yeah.
decent animation.
Go
I
back and
have,
compare the
some of
intro of any given like '80s cartoon to the actual animation.
Thundercats,
It's like
good
two
example
different
of
shows.
that. Good example of that is
Thundercats
Thundercats.
is
Oh.
a perfect example.
The intro
Has-
is
Transformers is
anyone-
actually a really good one.
I had I was just thinking the talk about the intro. I was just wondering, is it going to be similar to how the first intro of the series? It was like a condensed story, all told in 1 minute or
Well-
30 seconds. Are you guys going to follow that style,
It all
or is it
depends,
going to be?
Well, like Keith said, we can't animate and do intro unless we go official anyways.
Hmm.
It's just way too expensive in animation. It's way too hard to clean it up. And as we're right now, we want to push out the full episode and less worried about a minute of intro animation.
All right.
Hypothetically, though, yeah, I was thinking about that. It would be pretty cool to do a recap of the previous seasons, because we can't expect people to go into third season, newcomers, and have to go and drench through some 90s show.
Of course you do.
So it would be nice to retell. Well, yeah, true fans, of course. But the average
I mean, I don't
14-year-old.
suppose I know who else the audience for this is.
Well, hopefully, people that aren't like not just fans that grew up with it.
So you're
kids,
telling me the
but
first
new
episode
kids.
is not just going to be a blank screen with "Go and watch the other 2 seasons. We'll wait."
It'd be nice to do a recap of what happens in the intro, like pretty much the same how it was. The story was told in the original intro. You know, this is the Sonic. This is the Freedom Fighters. They fight Robotnik. They win the day.
The end.
It'd be nice to go.
Everyone
Oh,
cheers.
this happened.
And Sonic is the
And
fastest thing
now-
alive.
Yes.
But that too, yeah.
And basically, there you go. That's your intro.
But Tim will be singing it,
Yes.
of
Yes.
course.
Of course.
I'm still owed my a cappella from you, Gloria, and Tim.
And Keith.
Yes,
And Keith,
Paul.
yeah.
Yes, Paul.
No, it's not
Well,
me.
Thankfully,
No.
not me.
For meeting the Patreon goals. I'll get it out of you one day.
Lies.
Or you guys can just make up a whole new sign and just do like one big clip show like Sonic X.
How long do you think the time
Pass.
between getting season 3 animated and the
Or you
movies
can go
being
the Japanese route and do something better.
Well, I hate to say it, but the movie sequel will probably come out before season 3 animated.
Actually,
Animation takes a long time, but again, the more money we get in our Patreon, the more animators we can hire. So it's sort of hit or miss.
We'll see.
Actually, I remember around the time the movie was still in production, Kim Penders was talking about it, and I was wondering myself, what's going to come out first, the movie after the delay or his comic? And
Yes,
The movie after the delay. His comic is never actually coming out. That's never actually happening.
That Bender's comic.
oh, come on,
Yeah.
the
The
Adventures
Lars
of
2 Chronicles has been vaporware for the better part of a decade now.
I mean, I feel kind of
I
bad
don't know
for the guy, 'cause
how
I
many
mean,
deadlines.
I've never
there
actually
is.
read the Archie series. I know very little about it other than through
I've
hearsay.
never read it either myself.
But I keep
I've
getting
never read it.
links to his like Twitter feed where he's doing the stuff from like I have no idea who these characters are, but still I look at them and go, ooh dear.
I'll say
Yeah.
this about the comic.
Hey, we won't be riffing on anybody. in the
Exactly. I
stream,
mean,
though. Let's,
the guy did
let's
it for a
not
living. I've
do
got
that.
no gripe, no
no,
reason to riff on the guy.
Hey, I'm not making fun of Kim Penders. I remember loving the comics as a kid. I haven't read them in years, so I can't say for certain if that holds up. But hey, the guy had a lot of really creative ideas.
I've honestly never read any of the comic, and I don't know. Well, I never really had a comic store in town growing up, anything like that. So
See, and this is why I have a leg up on
They
all of
were
you,
there.
because I not only read the comic regularly when it was coming out, I've
yeah,
revisited
the-
it frequently.
I mean,
I
I know
remember
it was,
having the subscription. That was a magical time.
I mean, I know, like, it was actually, I was reading an Archie comic, like Archie, not Archie Sonic. They had an advertisement for Sonic comics, and that's actually what I just got the internet at the time. I was like 14 or 13, and I remembered, oh crap, I used to watch Sonic cartoons as a kid. So that's when I started searching for it. That's how I actually came across FUS, was sort of the roundabout way there.
Yeah. Imagine running into one of the issues as a kid. Well, hey, there's Sally, there's Antoine, there's Amy Rose, there's SBO the commit. What? But if you get a chance, check out the recent stuff that came out by who was it? I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the guy who's been in charge of the comics for the past couple
Ian
of years.
Flynn?
Yes, thank you so much. I just remember.
Are we talking about Flynn? Because he's been. So I'll just put it out there. I think Ian Flynn is one of my major inspirations. And he's, at this point, I think it's fair to say, kind of the definitive writer for Sonic the Hedgehog in America, because he's been doing it for close to, it's got to be 14 years now, straight.
Why?
Like almost completely uninterrupted.
Ian's a stand-up guy too. Like I met Ian, back in 2014 at Comic
Why
Con.
doesn't Sega hire him to do the writing?
Who knows? But Ian is a stand-up guy. Like I said, I met him about 6 years ago, and we actually hung out for a little bit, a couple of days in a row, and he's a great guy to actually talk to.
I was actually part of the
I
Bullet
met him at
crew
New York
for a while
Comic
back
Con
in the old
way
days,
back
back when he was
That's
going
when I met him,
Ian Potto. Because much like Season 3, I actually tried
I
to
remember
be
that
staff
too.
on Other M.
Hilariously, I also remember Ian Jones Quarte, the guy who directed OKKO.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
worked on Steven Universe as well. I remember him hanging out in the Sonic forums as well back in the day.
Really?
That was pretty cool. Yeah, the dude, it's so funny to follow him on Twitter and to watch a lot of his stuff, because you can just sort of tell he's totally one of us of our generation on that same wavelength.
I haven't watched OKK or a lot of it, but I have seen the Sonic inspired episode. I'm like, this guy gets it.
Yeah, no, totally. You watch that episode, it's like, oh, he's exactly like us.
Well, Keith, how many seasons did you do for Gumball?
4, I believe. Yes, season 2, 3, 4, and 5. I worked on.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably a bit too many of my years on Gumball.
Oh, Gumball.
But yes, I was going to say,
kind of a show.
Will, we have to
I really like the Amazing World of
show some
Gumball.
support for the
It's fun
Fleetway Sonic the Comic.
Yes,
Because,
good
the bits and all.
Oh,
stuff.
that.
And now we're
I
up
need
on
to go
this.
back and check all that out.
Fleetway, that was all English stuff, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you English
Richard
people.
Elson, way, and the late Neil. Oh, I've forgotten his name. Oh dear.
Sparkle Pupman. Yeah, Keith did work on Gumball.
I'm finding out so much stuff today.
I mean, I'm only just now learning that half the people I work with are British, so
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something new going on for everyone.
right? You learn something new every day.
We're taking over.
Slowly but
Good at
surely.
that whole colonized.
Yeah, eventually we're just gonna decide that you know what, season 3, good idea, but let's make an animated Fleetway instead.
So what? Is everyone gonna
Ooh.
be eating biscuits and
Wait.
drinking tea? And
Amy had a crossbow on it.
She did.
That was
It's
pretty
amazing.
cool.
She did. And
There was-
Supersonic was a psychopath.
Oh yeah, the crazy eyes that I remember.
Oh god.
Yeah, whenever we used to get into serious trouble, the Supersonic would take over and he'd lose all control and go nuts.
Oh yeah, like
Kill
the
everyone.
symbiote.
So I don't know a ton about the Fleetway comics, but that is far and away my favorite element, and I want to do it. I want to do it so
It was
bad.
like hulking out, but with
I
super
want
speed.
to do a Saturday version of that idea.
One thing I remember, that comic took the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog's Robotnik and made him terrifying, and not in the that's awkward terrifying. Like, oh my god, that guy's actually.
He was always
freaked me
drooling.
out.
He was always drooling for one thing. He was also he wasn't comically fat. He was like Kingpin bulky. This guy looked like he could crush your hand.
yeah.
He looked like he
Yeah,
could
he
crush
was
your
more
head
like
with his hand.
Kingpin fat, where it's kind of scary.
Yeah. I mean, I was still kind of sad. I mean, the weird thing about the way Sat AM came out in the UK was that it actually came out about a year after you guys got it. Everything was staggered for us, so Sat AM for us came out around about the same time Sonic and Knuckles was airing. It's like we had Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog just before Sonic 3. Then when Sat AM came around, I remember thinking, I really hope they do another transition with the Fleetway Robotnik into this one and make him even more evil. But they never did. But they just decided, you know what, we're going to take the characteristics of the Sat AM one and just put it into Adventures one and make him really, really messed up.
I do remember around the Adventure series, they gave him the outfit as well. So in a way, he was
yeah.
evolving as the story went on, and I thought that was really fascinating.
Yeah, I like the fact they didn't just like outright change his appearance every time there was an update. They just went, give him a new wardrobe. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah. But the Archie comics, there's a couple hundred of clones of him in the basement, ready for a different occasion.
Yeah,
What?
one of whom looks suspiciously like Hulk Hogan for some reason.
Oh yeah, why did we get that one?
I suppose
Yeah,
in
no,
this day and
I've
age, you're
asked
probably
myself
glad
that
about it.
question for years.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
appreciate that a lot of things that the British they take it seriously, a lot more seriously than America takes it a lot of times.
I was never a fan
Nigel
of their...
Dobbins, sorry.
I forget what they were called.
Thank you, Lord
Combat...
Bookster.
Combots? Their versions of the swap bots. One with like...
Combots, yeah.
Yeah, I was never a fan of those. I always thought they looked a bit kind of... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're weird when you really stop and think about them, because they've got those, like, trap jaws, and they're all painted in camo.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, this feels off-brand.
Very much so. It's like they look like they belong like in a Marvel book, you know, for Iron Man to beat up. They don't so much belong in Mobius.
But, you know, it's the aesthetics of Sonic are a funny thing, especially because at this point, Sega has expanded what they are so thoroughly that it's kind of like a little bit of everything. So, I don't know, there's at least
It's like
some room for
like
that sort of
the
thing, but
Sonic
also,
universe.
you know.
Hey, Eric, I got a question for you. Because honestly, I can't remember for
Uh-oh.
some reason.
Okay.
When you first started writing for the comic, because it was under work. This is when Rocky was here, and Rocky was trying to get it to work, and it didn't work. So you were hired originally under him, but was there other writers too, or was it just you? I can't remember.
It's mostly been me. I know we had a couple other contributors for some of the short comics back
Yeah,
at
the
the beginning.
shorts. That's when we had like Jim and all that stuff. We had a few others, yeah.
Uh,
But there was no other.
we
Yeah,
had
it
at least
was all
one
you.
other writer for the short stories, but otherwise it's been all me since 2009.
Oh, Will,
so-
sorry to bother you at this moment.
I just
How's that
remembered
music coming
something.
along?
It seems to be fine. Can you not hear it?
Nope.
How about now?
I just remembered. Sorry.
No, still no music.
Wait, you're gonna have to wait for a bit on the screen because of the time delay.
Oh,
Bump
wouldn't that be?
the music a little bit.
Oh, the music on the
Drawing is
Let's see.
really good. Honestly.
Okay, yes, sorry.
But Emily.
I'm mostly just using your
See, we
playlist.
thought we had all these audio problems solved before the stream, but apparently not. Oh, the joys of not knowing what we're doing.
I was about to say things are going far too
in my
slow.
life.
So, guys, there's a fun question going around in the chat that I actually think we might have some fun with. I saw somebody ask, and I've seen a few answers from people in the chat. What's your favorite episode from the series?
Ooh.
Throw
Yes.
The
back
original
up.
cartoon.
Allison, what's yours? Go.
I always
I would.
just really like the Doomsday Project. Just
They
the
got
part at the end
Bran.
where Sonic and Sally
Bran.
kind of go Super Sonic and Sally together. I just love that scene so much.
Oh,
So I
Is
still
that
watch
the-
it. So I can watch it every once in a while. Still get chills.
Doomsday Project was good. Myself, I always have to go to Blast of the Past. Both of
So
them.
good.
I those are my draw tos. Like whenever I go, like I should watch Sad AM again, and I just start there. I just go like, okay, 2 episodes in, I'm good. But that's just where I go to is Blast of the Past.
I can answer mine
What about
with a
you?
quote. Simple
What about you,
line.
Tim?
See if we can do the voice. Oh, I wouldn't be too sure about that, old boy. I have machines of all kinds, marvelous machines that can do things you would not believe.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good, actually.
If you can remember the
I
episode
like
that
it.
one was from, that one was my favourite because that line just sucker punched you, just hit you.
Okay, what
like-
episode was that?
I mean, after
think
coming
I
off,
recognize the line.
after coming off Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog to that, it was like, my god.
Right.
I haven't watched the show in so long.
Answered this
but-
question in a previous stream. You'll have to see that one of those streams to find out mine.
His
You
favourite episode's
tease.
everyone with Dulcie.
Oh yeah, Dulce
So I'll
was
go
a
ahead
thing.
and put mine up there. My favorite is Sonic's Nightmare.
Sonic's
Oh,
Nightmare.
I was just thinking about that one.
I
Oh,
think,
yes.
I thought that was actually really, Yeah, I think that episode has done more to inform my understanding of Sonic as a character than almost anything else in the entire history of the franchise. So, big impact on that one.
That was the one where he
it
was
don't-
dreaming about being roboticized, wasn't he?
Yeah, not him, Sally.
Sally, that's right. And then it ended up.
yeah.
That was a good one, yeah.
It was
Uh,
that
Will,
episode
what
has
one
one of my
was
favorite
yours?
Robotnik moments.
I know you did the accent or the quote for it, but I can't think of what the actual title was. Next.
Yep.
What episode was yours from?
It was the pilot. The first episode.
Oh, it was the pilot.
Yeah, it was the first. Well, not the
Heads or
pilot. So I thought it
Tails?
was weird. It was the original episode, the first one that ever aired.
Oh, so that would be Sonic Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
The one where
The
And to
line
be
comes
clear,
from when
that's
he's
Sonic
interrogating
Boom, yeah,
Cat.
so not Sonic Boom the series.
I was thinking when you said pilot, I thought you meant heads or
Oh
tails.
god, I do love that one from a kind of a quirky standpoint, but
Yes.
it's the animation style's just kind of weird and bouncy. I mean, especially in the opening scenes of that one where you've got them trying to build the catapults.
Yeah, that was the
original
bizarre
Rover
one.
and
And they're
Sally.
using all the old, they're using those unfinalized color schemes, and also there's a missile
Yeah.
that kind of has Sonic's face.
Yeah, it's very adventurous
Yes.
as Sonic the Hedgehog, that one.
That one was, yeah.
And let's not forget the hero of
Yeah,
the
it's
entire
all
pilot,
about-
Big Chungus Nicole.
Ugh.
Oh, 'cause she was like
She was
the
a huge
desktop computer.
She was a freaking
Yeah.
rally car.
Big chungus.
But she had wheels, so she was portable at least. I don't know, that would do like, you're going into Robotropolis somewhere and you're Sally pushing this big computer around. Okay, Nicole, map. Oh, we gotta climb up here. Straps are on the back.
Oh man, now I want to see that implemented in the comic or the show now. Yeah, just tugging like a giant rope, tugging Nicole along on the mission.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely glad that they changed Nicole's design there.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what
That would not have worked.
Oh, it just wouldn't have.
I remember the first time I saw
there
that
was
Nicole
a-
was on, I actually went, have they put a Game Boy in this? Are they taking a pot shot of Nintendo here?
Well, they came up with the SP first, apparently. Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Did you see Ian Flynn reposted
Oh, yes. With Sonic sliding down Sephiroth's sword, yeah.
a great Smash meme? Actually, no. Yeah.
I did not see
That was
that.
pretty funny.
Can
Oh,
someone
yeah.
What
that's
episode
where
of
I'll
Saturday
just-
do you feel is the weakest? Ooh. Okay,
Huh?
so I gotta go with the two shorts, the Rebecca and yeah, I just gotta. There's no need
there
for
were four
that.
shorts,
You
actually.
didn't like Rebecca?
I'm sorry, but
Uh,
there was those two episodes were just filler episodes. I don't know why they were put in there.
Oh, I know why.
Do with anything. Oh, okay, let's hear.
ABC wanted them to put it in there. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
They didn't want to do
Oh,
it, but they, for some reason, ABC wanted those episodes.
Yeah,
And
so
boy,
maybe.
can't you tell?
They
So I'll
also
say this
wanted.
much.
But
Yes, Eric?
Oh no, I didn't want to cut somebody off, but the shorts are easy to pick on because they're terrible.
Hey, next,
But I
the
do
music is way too
kind of
loud. Eh?
appreciate
Nice
they are-
balance there, mate. Yeah, it's like they're easy to pick on because they're terrible.
Well, but I do appreciate that they're the only time in the series where it feels like we actually do get to see a look at what their lives are like when they're not doing all the action stuff. And I do think that's at least an interesting enough perspective to make them, if not good, then at least interesting.
Hey, next,
Could I
turn
say
down the
one
music
thing
by like
about
half.
the short? One positive thing about the
So
short.
basically, ABC wanted some filler episodes, and nobody in the actual show wanted to actually do them.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like something ABC would do.
What, you mean the giant corporation interfering with the artistic vision of the creators? Heaven forfend. I've never heard of such a thing happening.
No, they would never do that.
No.
Ever. Oh.
And they still canceled it in the end.
Well, yeah, because
ABC
Power Rangers
was-
is way better.
Sorry, I was just saying ABC was the only boss they had to listen to because I know they were getting notes from Sega, but they weren't listening to them. But when ABC said they had to do something, they actually did.
They actually had to go.
It actually
Hey,
sounds a bit like Fleetway.
Yeah,
Fleetway got a load of
there's
notes from
ideas.
Sega as well saying, can you not do this, can you not do this? And the Fleetway guys turned around and went, if
Oh.
you mess with this, it's going to destroy everything that we're trying to make here. So you either let us do our own
yeah.
thing, or we're going to have to pull the plug right here and now. So Sega just backed off. Just went, okay, fine, go nuts.
Yeah. Didn't they say they didn't want Sonic to cry?
They say that all the time, don't they?
Yes, I do. That's one of those things I feel like has become almost an urban legend at this point, because I feel like I've heard that's like, I remember that was a really popular bit of trivia back in the day, but I feel like it's come out that isn't entirely true.
I do remember seeing. Sorry.
I don't think that was true. I think at some point Ben told me that was not accurate, or at least he had never heard that. It might have been
the artwork real quick. Arch.
what was the rumor? Sorry, I totally missed that.
Oh, just that Sega said that Sonic can't cry.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
I found the picture. There's something from the comics where they had to redraw it because
Apparently, I do
apparently.
remember.
Yep. Just type in Archie Sonic Cry, and there's the concept art where Sonic is a future Sonic is with Tails, and he's devastated about something, but they had to change it, and they had to tone back the crying
Yeah.
because Sonic's not allowed to cry.
I'm going to
That
go
was in the
against
comic.
popular opinion and say I actually prefer him with the toned down crying instead of a blubbering
Yeah,
mess.
I've seen a few other people say that too, and I have to admit, I'm one of the guys who likes the sketch pages a lot more, just because I'm such a sucker for like big raw emotion from characters you're not necessarily used to seeing it from. But I do appreciate why some people prefer the actual final pages.
I mean, to be honest, when it comes to Sonic being emotional, I think they kind of nailed it with the Uncle Chuck episode. At the very end when he switches back to being sort of evil, and they have to get on the train and get away. He's kind of in the back of the cab, just
Oh yeah, screaming, right?
He's not screaming. He's really down,
Well-
and he's on the verge, and
Oh no,
Sally's comforting him, and I think that kind of nailed it.
No, I just remember a scene where they have to pull him back from trying to get to his uncle. I could be wrong though. It's been years since I watched this, but I'm having all these memories flooding back. My sad AM memories.
Oh, sorry. Apparently,
there was something I want to say about the Sonic's Nightmare episode. That had one of my favorite Robotnik moments, where Robotnik was about to, I think, nuke the entire area to kill Sonic, but Snively is warning him that if he does that, he'll blow them up too. And you see Robotnik struggling to figure out what to do, and he just finally says, "Goodbye, Hedgehog," and he pushes the button anyway. I'm like, he was going to kill himself just to kill Sonic.
Yeah, no, that is a really cool moment.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. It's
It's
funny how much he hates Sonic.
he's a really good villain. I really appreciate. Well, it's what makes him so interesting is that he's a very interestingly egotistical kind of bad guy.
Yeah, he's
And
like
I feel
Jay.
like that moment does a lot to get at exactly how and why. Because it's just such a fascinating. Like, yeah, he's so committed to doing this that he's literally willing to die to make it happen. The only reason he doesn't is because the machine's busted when it happens.
I got a question for you, Allison.
That's hardcore.
When it comes to
Yeah.
so, with say, I understand the whole team Ben and all had to go under ABC, but did ABC give him a lot of rules to go by, or did Ben sort of have kind of semi-free reign over it?
Let's see. ABC. I mean, the only two things I know for sure that they said. One was what we just talked about. The other one was Dulcie. They wanted. They didn't specifically make Dulcie, but they just wanted another female character, and that's why we got Dulcie.
No, but they wanted another female character, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't see why they didn't do more with Nicole, honestly.
Well, they were going to in season 3.
Oh yeah.
Are they going to do more on Nicole season 3?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there was going to.
So they were
Oh
going
yeah,
to do more
yeah.
on season 3?
The history of Nicole.
Which reminds me, Eric, was the way you decided to develop Nicole based on those notes, or did you decide to go in your own direction?
So that's one of the big ones where I had an idea of my own independently of seeing those notes that I already kind of had in place by the time we got them. So I was like, oh, well, that's a really cool idea, but I kind of need to go with mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we already were kind of going in that direction anyways. It would have required a lot of rewriting if we had to change that.
Yeah. And in all honesty, it's, to me at least, I also appreciate that the Archie comics kind of took her in a similar direction eventually.
Yeah.
So I do feel like, I don't even know for sure if that was, I don't know if those notes directly influenced the comics at all, but it is kind of interesting that some of the ideas like Nagus becoming a main villain or the conception of Nicole as a more independent character both made their way into that series.
Okay, small rant moment here. Admittedly, I've not read it, I've not seen it. All I know is that I will never forgive Ian Flynn for naming Nagus Walter when he rebooted everything like that.
Sorry, what?
Walter? That looks like a Walter to you, does it?
I excuse you. Walter James Nagus is a perfectly respectable name that his mother gave him, and he likes it very much.
Like Dwayne Johnson.
Well, that's it. It's like, okay, fine, have that name, just keep it in private. Just call yourself something cool.
Like, wait, they're not talking.
Fear might have Walter.
Okay.
I kind of love it. Wait.
If I remember right, that's mostly a consequence of them retconning
Oh yeah, they
Wendy
retconned
the
everything.
Witch from the Tales Adventures games into being his sister. Yeah, well, I mean, they had a lot of work on their hands.
I remember seeing the concept art they initially. I think it was Evan Stanley's concept art, or I think it was Evan Stanley. Her concept art for what Nagus was going to look like in their rebooted one, and then looked at what Flynn's counter pitch was like. Okay, you've created this cool looking kind of goblin character here. It looks awesome, but how about normal Nagus, and we stick a witch hat on?
Nagus.
Sorry, I will forever call him Nagus just because of Star Trek. He's Grand Nagus and all that jazz.
Ixus. Well, not Ixus. Just Nagus.
I'm just going to call him Walter from now on.
You should. That is the preferred way to address him.
Walter. Hello, Walter.
I was sitting here
Walter,
thinking, who is he talking about? Nagus? That's a Star Trek thing. What is he talking about?
Nagus. Oh.
Nagus. Nagus.
Hey Paul, you saw those pictures of
He's the Grand Nagus.
The pictures of what, sorry?
of Snively on the stilts and turning into a coffee machine.
Oh, that'll be on the server somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember those.
Yeah.
Those are my words.
Okay. What are we looking at on any questions here?
Whoa.
Robotnik and Saturday was like Khan in Star Trek. Yeah, similar, I guess.
I don't know. I think Robotnik had more of, despite the fact he was blinded by revenge at times, he had more of a self-preservation instinct. Khan was like, by hell's, at hell's heart I stab at thee. He didn't care.
That's very true.
Khan is way more theatrical than Robotnik.
Yeah.
Robotnik's much more. I guess you
Robotnik's
could call it
Khan who got his way and put on a lot of weight. Maybe, I don't know.
Khan was a brilliant bad guy, though.
Well,
Khan was pretty much.
With Khan, the revenge is much more poetic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you stranded me on this planet, and now I'm going to make your life a living hell.
Right. So with Khan, it's much more of a poetic thing. With Robotnik, it's really much more about. It's much more petty.
Well, if can blame him, he's already won. The guy's bored.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The guy is mad because the planet he was on to conquer is dead, and his wife died on that planet. He is very, very mad at Kirk. Like,
Oh, I thought we were talking about Robotnik for a minute.
So did I. It's like,
We're
wait,
talking about both of this.
Robotnik's
I'm like, where did I miss that episode?
Yeah.
that's the movie. That's
Well,
the
I suppose
revenge
you could
thing
argue
with
that he was
Khan.
left with Mobius dead, so.
Yeah.
I
Robotnik
expect some Star Trek
going over his
Satam
name
fan
with
art
the
now.
Starship Enterprise.
I'm sure it already
mixed
exists.
way.
Keith. In fact, I put money on it. Some enterprising
All right,
fan.
guys,
out there.
chat.
Get it? Enterprising fan.
So, for all you in the chat, do you have any questions regarding the comic, the short that's being drawn right now, anything like that?
Questions along the
That
lines
blue
of who is this
rat.
amateur will not be answered.
That
Here's my
blue rat.
question.
He challenges me, and I will have him.
Hey, I have a question. Did anyone watch the Sonic Boom cartoon besides me and really, really like
I
it?
did.
I
Yeah.
love it.
The name that shall not
I
be
did,
named.
and I was half and half on it.
You know what? I
It had
only
moments.
watched it because my daughter
I
liked
kind of
it.
liked it, and then I also kind of didn't at the exact same time.
So
Plus, the
I
Sonic
did.
was a lot better.
I gotta admit, I did like it. I did enjoy it, but I didn't actually go out and seek to watch it. I mostly, my daughter, whenever she wanted to watch it, I'd sit down and watch it with her. That was about it.
Oh,
I
That's
think
nice.
it's good with it.
Hate and loathing.
But did anyone read the
Hate and
comic?
loathing over here.
I sadly have
I
not
can't
seen
stand
it. I
that
can't
show.
comment. It's because I only came back to the whole Sonic fandom in March, so it's like I've got a lot to catch up on.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Honestly, Sonic, or was it?
okay, you got back
Yeah,
just in
a
time.
lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah,
For
so I
better
found
and
out. I
worse.
pretty much had like just sat down with Prime. It's like, just take me on a ride. Tell me what's happened. And I was like, really? That all happened? Damn.
Oh, hey, it's still easier to follow than the Kingdom Hearts story.
I gotta say, like,
True
my
that.
least favorite Sonic cartoon to this day is still Sonic Underground. I just could never get into that show.
Oh, I hate that one.
Yeah, like,
Hey,
so I
you know what's a good idea?
I like how just right away,
Having
like, oh, I hate that one.
Sonic and his
I
brother
do.
and sister
Yeah.
become a band.
I do too. I just, and I tried, you know, I
Everything
only
about it's
tried
too
to watch
weird.
it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, like, okay, so Sonic now has a brother and a sister. They drive around in a hippie van,
So
and
mystery.
they sing songs. Like, that's the premise
And
of the
then-
show.
And then it
Oh,
shows
he's
that,
royalty.
it,
He's somehow
and then
royalty
it zooms
too.
out that Tails holding his notebook and asking Sonic what he thinks of his fan fiction.
The thing that really
No, it
offended
was
me
just-
about that
Biggest
show was the
crime
fact that
was it was
Sonic had a
boring.
guitar. If anything, he should have had a keytar.
Oh god. No.
Yes.
Sonic with a guitar.
Accordion.
Which is hilarious because isn't that what his sister has?
She has a keyboard, yeah.
Oh, Sonic.
His sister
Which is a keyboard.
And everyone knows
What you
she would
realize-
probably be on the bass.
Keeper.
So next, were you answering that question from
No,
Rigo? Is that what you were
Sonic
talking about?
There's a question from Rigo? Sorry, I'm just focused on what I'm doing here. What's the question?
Okay. Rigo asked how long have you been drawing comics, and any advice for people looking to learn.
I have. Okay, this is my first. The season 3 short is my first. I always wanted to do comics back in the old days, back in the early 2000s, but I never really got around to it. When Chief put out the call for a colorist, I was like, I could probably do that, so I kind of jumped on that one. And then when he said, do you fancy doing the short? I was like, I barely know what I'm doing on the colorist side of things, and now you want to do a comic as well. Oh, God. So poor Tim here, Chief put us in contact, and I've pretty much been pestering him non-stop for like, am I supposed to do this? How do I do this? He's been teaching me stuff about the golden ratio when it comes to panel layouts. He's been teaching me about stuff about how to properly align eyes. Things like that, so I'm pretty much just winging it whilst pestering an awful lot of people who know more than me. And I suppose that's the biggest advice I could give to someone. Chuck your pride out the door. Just, if you know someone who is competent in what they're doing, don't be afraid to go and ask them. Just take every advantage you can to just learn from whoever will teach you. Take every piece of advice you can on board.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you having an open mind to learn from that. It's been experience where I feel like I'm back at home. I was the art editor for Archie Sonic Online and Sonic Legacy. I did a lot of stuff like that for those, where I would art edit with people, mostly people who never done this before, ever, with comics. Trying to teach them all the stuff that I have learned over the years. And I've had some poor experiences before in those comics with people not being able to take critique very well. And Nex is absolutely right. If you want to learn, you need to realize that you have things to learn from someone. And even people who are professionals have things to learn. You're not infallible. I have things I'm still learning every day, and I have things I need to improve on. I'm not perfect.
That's not what he's been telling me.
Working with Nex has been a great experience. He brought me back. I mean, I've had such a horrible experience before with doing volunteer comics and stuff, trying to art edit. I'm like, no, I'm never doing this again. I can't go through that again. But Nex is such a professional and so good at this and wanting to learn, hungry to learn, that he brought me back, and I'm really enjoying so far working with him.
The fun fact is, Tim was never originally supposed to be the art editor on this. I forced it into it. I just gave him credit on page 2, and he's like, you can't take it back now.
I agreed to be art consultant, not art editor. I'm the art consultant.
You're on the credits now. No takebacks.
That reminds me, I tried so hard to get Nex to properly credit himself, it was like pulling teeth.
I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Trying to get Nex to credit himself in the comic is impossible. That's why I almost have to do it every single page.
But there's my credits.
I kept asking him, hey, how should I credit you when I'm writing it? He's, Mr. Humility, and yet here he is knocking it out of the park. I realize I'm a writer on this, not an artist, but I sincerely think Nex's stuff is really good. It's really cool to see how well he translates my stuff. That's really, it's always been one of my favorite parts of doing this, is seeing how other people interpret my scripts. And with Nex, I really found that was a particularly impressive moment.
One of the fun things about Eric is, before I started doing the short, I was very much, I think back in the old FUS days, I used to call myself, I'm the mech king, I used to be awesome at drawing robots and all this kind of stuff. That used to be my bread and butter, and then I got this short script from Eric, and it called for all these kind of really weird facial expressions. You got here with Sally sticking her tongue out, trying to focus on washing Bunny's hair. And expressions had never been my thing, so I just went on to Pinterest and started looking at people's expressions, just how do I draw a confused expression? And now I just love drawing these really weird sort of squishy facial expressions. It's bizarre. So yeah, Eric's responsible for that. Thanks for that.
I still remember on the first page. On the first page you did, how long you actually blindfolded yourself to figure out how to draw a blindfold.
Funny story. Okay, I have to tell this one. What? Yes, the folds of the blindfold on page 1. I couldn't work out what it would look like if you were actually blindfolded, because half the time you can't see. So I went into my spare room, which has a skylight, and the morning sun comes through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put a blindfold on myself, and I'm just going to see what it looks like. That room is also the room I used to do leather working in, so it's got a lot of belts and mannequin heads and weird stuff in there. So I go in there, I'm blindfolding myself, I'm stumbling around, I take it off, I go, okay, now let's see what it looks like on a mannequin head, so I can see how it curves around the human face. So I'm tying this blindfold to the mannequin I'm looking at, and then I notice a shadow pass across the room. I look out, my next door neighbours are having work done on their roof. And a bunch of workers have just watched me blindfold myself in a room full of belts and stumble around before blindfolding a mannequin.
Oh, what I wouldn't have given to be there.
And all I could do was look at them and nod.
Yep. You just saw that.
Yep, that happened.
I'm going away now. It shows how professional you are, though. How do I draw a blindfold? Do all the... Oh, I can just see them. They're probably on the roof just staring through this, going what is he... Huh.
You seeing these belts, guys? You seeing the blind? Oh my god, he's a gimp.
Yeah.
I just had a bit of a flashback. It's something I remember me and Paul were talking about. This was like way back when I was doing chapter 4, I think. And I remember I had to do Sally at her desk with a lamp on, and I was like, how do I do a light? And I remember a chief from the description, and I have it right here. Also, if you ever wondered how the meetings go between myself and Steven, as we discuss the pages, well, here you go. Chief says, the way you built her light looks great, like the light itself. And I wrote, oh yeah, Gurjira wrote it on lamp. So I found an example of a desk lamp. I think it works great. And so I looked at my ceiling light to get an idea of how a light works. It hurt like hell. So I ended up guessing.
I remember that too. You're like, yeah, I was trying to figure out how
aren't
to
you guys
draw a
glad
light.
that I give you such good challenges in my script?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I waited
it's
for you to say, she
how do I
stares
draw
at the
light?
sun. The light reflects in her eyes. I wonder what that looks like. Oh no, I'll stare at the sun and take a photograph of myself.
And
Yeah,
I remember that
It's actually very good for me to know that you guys essentially go into full jackass mode whenever I give you these things. Like, I'll have to keep that in mind when I'm writing future stuff.
I'm so glad
How
I'm
about
the
we don't
colorist
injure
after this.
ourselves just for art's sake? Just saying.
I did another conversation
Look
with
at
him,
that
and,
idea.
and Steven going like, yeah, I had to do this, and so I stared at a light, and I realized, oh, that actually really hurts.
I remember once I put my hand on the stove and it hurt a lot. And then I was like, huh, I wonder if that hurt because I put my hand on the stove. So I tried it again.
Well,
It
third
hurts
time's the charm, right?
Exactly.
And at that point, I had to go to the hospital.
Okay, question for you,
look,
Keith.
oh, look at that. Nex is repositioning the head to match the spine. I appreciate that, Nex.
I do listen on occasion. But this is just the kind of the reason why everything looks kind of funky at the moment is like this is what I refer to as my rough dolls stage. I'm basically just making sure I know where all the bits are going to go before I start fine-tuning it. So I mean, you can see, for example, the perspective on Bunny here compared to Sally's a bit off. You know, Bunny looks like it's coming straight down, whereas Sally and the actual furniture looks like it's slightly angled. So I'll be going back and changing that. So, but yeah, the amount of
You might
times Tim
want
has
to
had to
put perspective lines.
I'm looking at the first panel, and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this would be a lot of fun to animate. I mean, well, you can't see my face, but I'm like, ugh. I just remember years ago, certain angles to avoid doing, and one of which was like over the head.
So funny
Like,
enough,
if you can, try to avoid it.
Funny enough, I've been trying to make the short look as sort of like show accurate as I possibly can. So like trying to maintain certain camera angles that would have been used in the show. But every now and again, I'm like, oh, I just feel like showing off for a bit. So like in the page, which the chief is not bothered to update.
Wait a minute, I don't work for ABC. I can do whatever the heck I want.
Well, kind of, but yeah, it's like there's the new page that Chief still has to upload. Grumble, grumble. I decided to go with this kind of weird fish light. Yeah.
I'll get on that, actually.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's okay, but you can wait till next Monday now. You know, that way I could. Have a
Well,
little
see,
break.
that's exactly it. I'll wait till Monday, and then we get Monday, and then this will be next Monday, and we're good.
Oh, sweet, yeah. Hey, buffer. Poor old Rigo still has to keep waiting for me to colour his damn work that he's had waiting for months. Sorry,
You'll be
Rigo.
posting a page like after Christmas.
Paul, do you think you will eventually have more comic specials like the Christmas one? And is there interest in ideas, materials
that was
other than
good.
specials? I love Eric's writing. The Christmas one was fun, although I think Eric wanted to kill me because I gave you like 4 weeks to do it.
Do you remember you telling that story
I
on the
feel like
last
it was-
stream and thinking to yourself, if he does that to me, I'm going to kill him?
I know I didn't give you and Sammy very much time.
You had
You
to
did
bring
not,
up the Christmas
and
special.
To be frank, I actually think the real hero in that is less me and more Sammy because she put out some real quality work in a remarkably tight time frame.
I still have the rough stuff on my computer. That is some really well done stuff.
Yeah, well, basically, like I got a hold of Eric, I think, in October. And, it was definitely, it was a time restraint on both of them. And that to this day, that was actually probably one of the best shorts we had. And the comedy, like, Eric he was great in that one. Because I told him, I want to do a Christmas thing. but let's make a spoof on some sort of story. And so he got back to me like within a day almost and said, well, how about we do this? And I just jumped on board. I was like, that's awesome. And that was probably one of the best stories. Like, that was really well written. That was really, really well written.
Yeah.
In fairness, I actually did have I had a very helpful source of inspiration, which is a big part of how I was able to get back to you with my idea so quickly. Because I had actually, not that long ago, I'd been reading a story that was also a kind of a Sonic the Hedgehog Christmas Carol thing, but very different from what we did.
The
much
Robotnik
more
one?
serious, much more. It's a fan fiction actually by a writer who I used to follow named Freedom Fighter 4 on DeviantArt. And again, very different story, but the main thing is it was a Christmas Carol riff that put Sally in the Scrooge role, and I thought that was fascinating. So I really wanted to do something with that, and I even reached out to them to say, look, your story really inspired me. Can I use this idea? And I got their okay for it. I even remember I told you about that, Chief.
I do remember that, yes.
So big part of how I was able to get back to you so quickly was I had a very helpful bit of inspiration right out the gate.
Yeah, which definitely helped out. Because when you have a very short time to write something, because we had to get it to Sammy as soon as we could, because she had to start, she was doing, almost a comic every 2 days. That was basically her goal, 7 days a week, and she was pushing out something every day and a half or 2 days in order to get us all the way through to, December 1st to December 26th.
Right, yeah, jeez Louise, you did not, you dropped the big one on us there, man, It worked out, but that was a lot.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely. Yeah, that's something I should have been planning out, in the February before or something, not in October.
I kept thinking
hey.
After you told that story, I kept thinking to myself, if he drops something like this on me, and I have to tell my other writer that I'm going to have to postpone the project that we're working on for a month or two while I crack this out, I'm going to have to murder him.
You'll have to come to North
America. Honestly, I feel like murdering him in general is just sort of a pretty cool idea on principle. So, just sort of keep that one in the back burner.
Poor Chief, he's the one that keeps everything running.
Sure. Oh, well.
I'm not saying we actually do it. I'm just saying we keep it in mind.
It's just something to fall back on in case, there's a rainy day.
Oh, yeah, okay, so guys...
Hey, by the way, thanks for inviting me, Chief.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. So... Who do you
I think there was a question...
I don't even have a DeviantArt, so nobody.
I haven't been on DeviantArt in a long time.
I've got one, don't worry.
Hey, I should check out my notifications. I've actually thought about just nuking my DeviantArt and starting anew.
Oh, yeah, I did that back in 2006. Nuked the whole thing. It's like, screw it, I'm done. Started a new one though, but again, I didn't use it.
Yeah. My big reason is, oh hey, I haven't seen my artwork in almost a decade. Oh god.
Actually, there's I think he's a member. He might actually be in the chat. Floop. He contacted me on Twitter and was like, "Yeah, I found some of your old stuff. Have a look." And I was like, "Why would you do this to me? Why do you hate me?"
I thought I deleted it.
Why are you trying to kill me?
Your old stuff was good though.
Yeah.
Wait. Was it really? Was it really?
It was. Yeah, it was.
That's the thing. I like what I was saying before. I was joking about the, it's our job to look back on our stuff and just let it go. But, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. With my stuff, I have a love-hate relationship. I'm like, man, I remember how much time and effort I put into it. And then I think, I don't like how it looks. But then I think,
I haven't been able to actually get on the DA for it.
Oh.
Will, I've got a question for you about your process.
Oh no!
If that's okay. Don't worry, it's not a revealing question or anything.
What happened to DeviantArt? Why does it look different?
It's cool and modern.
Was that the question?
I don't like
so.
That's the question. The answer is
No. 42. No, the question is, it's interesting. I've noticed that you're working one panel at a time, going rough and then going quite detailed to the drawing. Do you have like an image next to it with all the roughed out panels done quickly?
I do and I don't. I'm probably going to be spoiling something here. If he's in the chat, Breaker's probably going to murder me. But this is the one I'm doing for our little Natal short. And what I usually do is, this is usually how I plan stuff out, is I'll go in super rough. Just kind of get the general posing, the general setting, maybe a few rough facial expressions. But for the most part, no, not really. First thing what I usually do is look at, I've got the notes here, let's put them on again. I'll look at Eric's script, look at how many panels there are, try to work out roughly where the dialogue would go. So in this case I put the balloons up, that's not what I see the dialogue. So it's like, where do I want the dialogue to be going? Admittedly I've not fine-tuned this one bit, but it lets you know how much dialogue is given in each panel. So I go, okay, I've got X amount of room to play with, and at which point I just kind of start going at it. There's not an awful lot of thought going into it. I mean, I probably should do the full thumbnail rough out, but 9 times out of 10 I'm like just kind of winging it. I'm so unprofessional.
I mean, each to their own.
Oh no, it seems to be working just fine. Actually,
I was going to say, for an unprofessional guy, you've put out some very professional results.
Meanwhile, I was working on the comic for a couple of years, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, why the hell didn't I think of that? I'm talking about the word bubble thing.
The process, like doing it from the thumbnails to the page drawing to the inks and stuff, because that stuff can really save you a lot of headache, as Nex has learned.
Yes, page 3 was a great example of that one, where it's suddenly like, well, I have all this text to put in, and I've detailed so much of these scenes, and now it's all going to be covered over with word balloons. Well.
Oh.
So I just want to say, we just passed $700 on Patreon.
Hey!
Oh, yeah!
Yay! Get out the...
Thank you guys so much.
You guys have earned a special treat, so here you go. You can have this again for a little bit, but only for a short amount of time. That's enough of that.
$700 per month. Wow, guys!
Get off my butt. I need to start drawing. I need to chip into this too. Now, I'm a cheap guy who can only afford the smallest. Oh, wait, whoa! I like
Wow, the buff, Nick.
Well, the buff.
They earned it. They earned it.
Oh god. Okay. So yeah, no, $700 a month. That's actually awesome because it means that we're good with our animators. So, like, we've already started hiring animators, and I think there was a question earlier. How long?
Oh yeah.
Or how many? Like, how long till it's done? Well, or what stage the project's already in? Well, we are actually in the animation stage, which is, of course, going to be the longest stage, but we are full-on animating right now.
Yeah, I've got about 4 animators and a cleanup artist going at it. I've given them all some scenes.
What is it animated in? Is it Toon Boom or?
Oh, it's whatever. Oh, this is a quite interesting answer actually, because it's whatever the animators feel comfortable in, because it's not so important for the animation stage. We've got a girl who's called Marino Yinuk, sorry for the mispronunciation. Smokey is her tag name she goes by, who is animating on
try
paper.
not to mention people's names who work for us. We try to keep those down low.
Okay, sorry. Beat
anyways,
that out.
She is traditionally animating on paper.
Yes.
And then
got out in post.
Which is
brought
hardcore.
in. So and then there's a couple others that use do any of the guys actually use Toon Boom or?
I'm not sure. Most of this got someone on Animate, which is new Flash. Toon Boom maybe got
Isn't
a
there like
couple.
Clip Studio or something?
Clips.
I'm not sure. I
Clip
just get
Studio
exports
is,
of their work.
I found out I think some people are using Clip Studio, but I found out from personal experience, Clip Studio is not the best thing to actually use because it can't handle 4K animation very well. I tried it, and it's really super laggy when you try to do it in 4K.
I'm sorry, did you say that was Toon Blade or Flash?
Clip Studio.
Oh, Clips. Oh, okay, sorry. I missed the name.
I've been out of the art everything for some time. I've been doing like personal stuff on the side, but I really need to get back into what is it, 2D drawing, and if I have enough time, I'd love to get back into animating. The problem is work.
Okay. Hey Keith, question for you.
Yes.
Okay, when?
Answer's no.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
When did you start animating? Did you start animating like right out of school, or were you doing it sort of in like high school still, or what made you actually go into that area?
Mostly just illustrating and doing portraits and stuff as a kid. But I remember distinctly at around 14 years of age, I had to get into animation because my brother was programming in a fun little basic program called Dark Basic for like, you know, easy to make computer games. And so, of course, we collaborated and made our own games together. So I had to animate for that. I did some god-awful animation. It's terrible stuff. Made a little fighting game, Dark Fighter. And they've got just a couple of frames per move.
Deserves a gold medal.
No. I wonder if it's online somewhere. Making a game with my brother and my teens.
Yeah.
Is that what I get the gold medal for?
Oh.
Yay.
No, the pure edgelord name. That's what you get a medal for.
And a Dark Fighter.
Dark Fighter.
Oh, well,
Such
yes.
a 90s kind of, we're going to market this to edgy teens name.
Dude, that's not just a 90s name. That's the kind of 90s name that like shows up in a cartoon show that has a video game in it as like as a parody of like Mortal Kombat or something.
Oh, God,
Every
yes.
character wears a long trench
Well, I
coat
was an
and
edgy teen,
your
I have
head
to
off.
admit.
Dark Warrior Bloodfist.
And
The Reckoning.
Turbo!
yes.
Oh, yeah, it's got to put
Two.
turbo in there just
And
to
Knuckles.
sell it, yeah. And Knuckles.
And Knuckles.
Yeah.
I want someone to make that now. Someone please make the next Sonic fan game starring Cold Steel the Hedgehog.
And here's up with his best friend Knuckles.
That's a
Fine.
character Prime
Fourth-
introduced me.
Oh my goodness, now I want to make a Steel Sonic. Can you imagine a Steel Sonic? Like there's Silver
Yeah.
Sonic,
Actually,
Metal
would be kinda
Sonic,
cool.
and then a Steel
Yeah, it's
Sonic.
called Metal Sonic.
Unpopular opinion.
Can you make
I
him...
honestly think that Silver Sonic was better than Metal Sonic. He's more.
Ooh.
There we go. There's my unpopular Sonic opinion.
Ooh, we got a level in here.
Scandalous.
Alright.
Mecha Sonic is the best one of all of them.
I remember there was one version of Sonic that showed up like once in the comics, the Archie ones, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. And like one issue later, it's destroyed. I'm like, oh. It's the one that shows up
I think
after.
that's Silver Sonic 2 that you're thinking of.
Yeah, like after the adventure arc that attacks Sonic. I'm like,
Yep,
wow.
Silver Sonic 2.
And then
Which is hilarious because the whole reason they even do that is because they have when you play as Gamma in Sonic Adventure, there's you can see that room with all the different robotic Sonics in it, and one of them is that Silver Sonic. They're like, oh, we can use this, and they did.
and it kicks
That was
off
such
Sonic
an
Adventure
amazing
2 of all
moment.
things.
In Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
Seeing Silver
Actually-
Sonic there.
Actually,
Getting to
seeing
see all the different robot Sonics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's okay?
I also remember
Did Robotnik
Shadow
stop making
destroying
robotic
it.
Sonics?
Oh man, I gotta check that up.
Do you know, that was one of the funniest things. I mean, I've sadly not read any of it, but now I kind of wanted just upon seeing it. It was a meme going around about the new Sonic comics, and all I could remember was seeing was like, Robotnik's like smashing the place up with this giant robot, and then like all the the other Sonic characters pile on him, and eventually he just gets fed up and just literally pulls out a laser pistol and just starts firing madly at everyone. I was like, there you go. He's given up on Metal Sonic. He's now just got a gun.
I haven't read.
He had a gun back in Sonic Adventure 2.
Did he?
It's nothing.
Sadly not.
Yeah, he holds up. When he's in his giant mech, he's holding Amy at gunpoint. Yeah. And I'm like, why does he have a gun? Why doesn't he just use his mech? I mean, yeah, I replayed that recently. I'm like, man.
Remember when Sega thought that the winning direction to take the franchise in was giving Shadow a rifle twice?
Oh, I loved one of the pieces of
opening.
It's a piece of promo art of Shadow just stood there with an assault rifle. He's cocking like a shotgun.
Did you know I feel
partly
responsible for that?
He's cocking the gun. He's walking up to the cliff. You see him in the moon, and he's on a motorcycle. And then hell opens up in the sky. What is Sega doing?
And then down comes the title. It just says Dark Fighter.
Yes.
How's that lawsuit go, by the way? Keith?
I was actually going to say, I think I know how that came about, the whole the Sonic thing, because during that time, like a year or two, or a couple of years before Sonic the Shadow the Hedgehog game came out, Sega sent out this questionnaire. I remember filling it out, and they were asking sort of questions like, if they made a game about Tails, what age group do you think it should be geared towards? And then there was one for Shadow, and I was like, oh yeah, well this should definitely be 18 plus. And
oh my god!
So you're responsible for this.
I feel partially responsible.
They took a look at his history. It's like, this guy made Dark Fighter. He knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, that would be it.
I'm pretty sure I took that too. Except I said I wanted a Tails game.
Was there not one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had.
There was one for a portable system, I think.
Yeah, I remember the one for the Game
Gear.
Sky Patrol.
Yeah, one of which. Wait, did that only come out in Japan? The Sky Patrol one.
What's that one?
I don't remember.
The
one where it's like a on-rail
Please say
shooter
shooter.
thing.
Please say shooter.
What's a shooter?
That's not the idea.
Oh man, if it was
Tails
a
having
shooter,
an
it'd be
shooter.
amazing.
I feel like that's the second one, but I can't remember for sure because there's Tails.
Oh, yeah.
There's Tails Adventure, I think, and Tails Sky Patrol.
Yep.
I think are what they're called.
Yeah, Tails Adventure, where it's kind of like a like more of a strategic platformer. I think it was.
It's platformer games.
I remember a YouTuber did a full in-depth review of it. And I'm like, hey, that game doesn't sound bad at all. And I remember trying to look to see if the game was affordable or not, and well, I don't have it, so I guess it wasn't.
So I want to say Gloria's in the text chat right now, and I just want to congratulate her on actually passing her finals that she just finished off.
Oh, congratulations,
Oh,
Gloria.
yay!
Congratulations! Oh my god, it's $. That's not too bad. But hey, congratulations!
Nice.
Why are these things that at best are only okay so much money?
Oh, Sketch Bunny looks so happy right now.
She's getting her hair washed.
You know, I would have thought the whole salon motif would have showed up, but at some point sooner, and not in the year 2020.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd think that Bunny would have had her own dedicated story at some point back when the series was actually in production, but here we are.
Yeah, my
You
girl
know
was
what?
done, my girl was done
point.
wrong.
Oh.
Poor Bunny.
Are we
For real, man, like that. For real.
Hey, Steven, I want to reminisce with something with you. Remember when we were coming up with the new designs for Sonic?
I think so. Yeah.
That was
like for the comp.
That was a lot of fun. I was at my sister's house at the time, across the state, and I wasn't even home, and I was doing drawings on my pad. And I was supposed to be spending time with my sister, but I was
and here comes
instead drawing with you, sending like. I was like sending text messages to you, taking pictures of, like, what do you think of this, Steven?
I'm like, I don't know. What am I, the guy who's doing the comic or helping on the? Was I still doing the line art at the time?
You were the color artist at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was the color artist.
That's when they were just
To this day, I still understand why Paul had me take that role. I did not think that was what my life's calling was.
Color artist? You did good.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know what it is, but I mean, when I do like line work, illustrating with pens, like black whites, or just doing sketch art, like sketching out the scene, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know where I can go with it. With colors, I just don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, will this make everyone happy? This here, shading here, oh my gosh, that looks... And then I send it to Paul and Tim, and I hope they say it looks okay. Yeah, and that's how my coloring went.
Well, then we got... Who was it? We had Rigo
and Laura.
Drawing. Yeah, Rigo and Laura, yeah, that's right.
I'm still trying to bug Laura for more of her secrets. I'm bugging Tim, I'm bugging Keith. I want to bug Laura. She just keeps hiding from me.
The order came of that with Steven, and then who was before Steven?
Was it Sal?
That was Salamander.
Salamander and Steven, and then I came in to partner up.
Artist with Salamander.
I came up to partner up with Steven. He became color artist. I became the line artist. And then Steven retired. And
then
Laura,
I went dark.
Laura came in, Enigma. And she colored for me for Chapter 7, the first half of Chapter 7. And then I retired for the second half of Chapter 7. And Rigo came in for the second half of Chapter 7. And now Rigo has retired and... No, Rigo hasn't retired.
So you better not have.
It's Laura has retired, so now it's going to be Rigo and Nex for Chapter 8.
Whereas in the short, it's all just Nex, and that's why he's drawing Smug Bunny right now.
And then meanwhile, Paul is looking for someone else to take the mail because it's only a matter of time.
What am I looking for?
Someone else to take over after he leaves, because it's gonna happen.
No.
This comic is cursed.
And what now?
Well, to be fair, I was just unreliable.
I'm sorry, Chief, but you have to fight Breaker for that one.
What's that?
No,
you're my slave, trust me.
Fight.
No, seriously,
we'll share you. We'll put you in a cage like Keith. And then Breaker can use you, and then I can use you, and really you just don't have to sleep, that's all.
Oh,
not sharing my
you're
cage.
assuming I have sleep to begin with.
That was a very, very...
Oh, looked like Laura Blue is in the chat.
Laura, hey!
That's nice. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Yeah, no, somehow we're still here.
Hi, Laura.
Still standing.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, I guess you won't... Well,
so,
in a cage next to Keith's cage.
So many cages. I feel like you could save a lot of money if you just limited it to one.
Yeah, just condense into one big cage, and that should cut back on cost a little bit.
Oh, exactly.
I still
So,
might
you
put
know,
on coffee
you gotta
anyway.
make budget money for this stuff. Ugh.
She is now really well. Yeah, at the moment, I have a job that's doing me pretty well. I'm finally able to buy the things I wasn't able to afford back in the day. The only problem is now I'm too tired to use the stuff I am able to afford. I have
Ain't
a
that always the way?
I have a Cintiq that I haven't bothered to even. I opened it to just feel how wonderful it was. But I haven't plugged it in or anything because I'm like.
Oh, by the way, Alison.
Yes.
So I don't know you. I want
No.
to say hi.
Hi.
I want to ask what what your involvement was with the team before I arrived and all that lot, or the new lot.
Well,
I'm curious about.
I mean, obviously, I made the website,
Right.
and
Oh yeah.
I wanted to do a comic. I didn't really know what I was doing, though. Admittedly,
Oh,
I think
that
they
sounds
had
good
the right
familiar.
idea when
Any
they
of us?
well,
There's a lot like going
I was
around.
really. My idea was to have different people draw different panels and then put all the panels together and color them.
Wait,
Oh, that
So-
would have been fun.
It wasn't terrible, but we had
that reminds me of the
Like a
season-
continuous.
Yeah, because how many chapters did you guys actually push out at the first one? Because you did full books, right?
Yeah, well, I don't even remember. I think it wasn't very many. It was like maybe 5.
Yeah.
We were gonna do
I
something.
seem to remember it was like 6.
You remember what?
I seem to remember it was something like 6. So I think like 5
Yeah, either way, yeah.
or 6 is probably.
We were gonna do something with Sonic's parents. We were gonna bring them into the mix. I don't even remember where that was gonna go, though. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I have
Cool. I like the idea of everyone doing a panel each.
They're kind of
Like,
doing
that could
something
be a
similar
fun
with some of the animated
little
projects
game.
these days, aren't they? There's an awful lot of animated projects where like each artist
Oh
has
yeah,
their little scene.
the collaborations. Oh, yeah, have you guys checked out the? Oh wait, no, I think that's pretty old. But I just recently found out there was Legend of Zelda CDI reanimated.
No, I've not seen that.
That
Although
was
I have
awesome.
heard there's
Oh, yeah.
there's a group on Twitter that's popped up a while back that's doing Sat AM reanimated.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
is that
seen
right?
that. Yeah.
Oh,
I actually
there-
haven't
there
heard
was,
of it. That's pretty interesting.
there was a Sonic OVA reanimated.
Why would you reanimate Sonic OVA?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's
how else are
perfect.
you
There are no
gonna
faults
do in
with
there?
it whatsoever.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that we finally have the original soundtrack from that thing.
Yes,
a lookalike. Yeah.
the South
Oh.
Island.
I'm so glad that finally got released on YouTube.
I had no idea that
I
song. That there was more to the
a
song.
long time ago, I had the DVD of the movie,
I still do.
and once I put it on the Japanese audio, it was a million times better.
I gotta admit, I've never
I
watched
actually
it.
have the VHS.
I've never heard it
Oh,
on
the
the never
American.
heard it in the original Japanese. I mean, my version of the VHS was the one put out by ADV Films. I think it was in the UK. It only
yeah.
it only came with the English version.
Hey,
I
shut
got
the
the
hell
white
up,
But
Bill.
it is funny, I can
VHS.
remember.
I found it at Toys R Us. Of all places, that's where I found it.
Tails' voice to this day still makes me want to run out into the street and punch someone.
I'm still learning.
Huh?
He sounds like he
Oh, that
constantly
was
has
great.
a cold for some reason in that dub.
Don't forget, Knuckles is Sonic's best friend.
He also can
And
fly
also
without like
roll.
using his arms or anything. He just hovers.
I did
But
like
Magic
Eggman.
I've got to
on his
watch
back.
this because I've
I mean,
never,
Dr. Robotnik.
I've never watched this before, but now because of just what you guys are saying, I've definitely got to find it.
Oh, you need to. It's absolutely
It's on YouTube.
terrible.
You never watched Sonic OVA?
No, I haven't.
It's on YouTube.
Oh my goodness! It is
It
one
is.
of the best.
They have,
Yeah, I
You've
remember.
gotta watch it.
they have a full-on Terminator
I
movie with Metal
remember-
Sonic. It's great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, full-on Terminator
Okay,
2 with
I-
Metal Sonic. It's great. Absolutely
All right.
fantastic.
I'll dig it up tonight.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I'm talking about the bit where he
Yeah,
turns
this
to
is the
liquid
best-
metal and shanks Sonic's
20-year-old
parents.
It is the best thing, Sonic thing to ever come out of Japan.
Oh my god!
Let's just say
Actually,
that.
that OAV is nearly 27. It's like nearly 30 years old now.
It's only like
'Cause-
16. No, it's not even. Is it like 15 minutes long? And
Yeah,
how
it's
much
more than
is
an
it?
hour.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Oh,
ADV
50.
films one broke it up into 2 parts, if memory served. They're like an Act 1 and an Act 2.
Well, that's in Japan. It was released as 2 separate videos.
Oh yeah. It was like the. They did that with stuff like the Mario Brothers. What else? A Mega Man. I remember they had a Mega Man series with a really cool opening.
Does Sonic still flip Robotnik out in the American version, or did they take that out?
No,
Robotnik?
it's vague enough that they were able to leave it in. Okay.
Oh wow!
Hey,
'Cause
they call it Jim Carrey Robotnik. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a petition
And,
we need to get going to have the entirety of the cast redubbed from the OVA replaced with the movie cast.
Is
You know
there
what?
really?
I wouldn't mind seeing Ben Schwartz.
The
do more
funniest thing
Sonic.
is I could totally hear Ben Schwartz doing a lot of those lines.
Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen
You know,
it. There's a chap on YouTube who's reanimated the ending sequence from the movie where Robotnik's throwing the rocks down, but he's done it with the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Robotnik. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
voice actor
Oh.
is so good.
Long John Baldry impression too. Whoever voices
Yeah,
Robotnik
he's
is
so
that.
close to Long John Baldry. It's absolutely fantastic.
You know, despite the fact that he looked nothing like Robotnik, I thought he was a pretty good Robotnik.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
he
I
definitely-
was giddy towards the end, when he's got the big
It's
wire.
Oh, Jim
so don't
Carrey.
discuss my opinions
Ah.
about space.
And the movie wasn't like great by any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, I'm like, this was. I enjoyed
It
it.
was cute.
Yeah, and
Some of the secondary actors, though, were oof.
Thank heavens they went back and got Tyson. What's his name?
Tyson Hess.
Tyson Hess.
Yes. Oh, that guy's awesome. He fixed the movie.
yes.
I can tell. I'll say this much: the one thing that I really wish was true about the Netflix cartoon that they kind of announced a few days ago. I really wish Hess was directing that because I think he's easily
Oh, the shorts. Those.
Sonic Mania ones, yeah.
Sonic Mania Adventures is maybe
Yeah.
the single best Sonic anything of the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, especially the first episode where it's like almost Tom and Jerry like, with the fact there's no voice. They speak in these kind of weird little noises. It's wonderful. Like Robotnik's laugh of just whoop, 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 whoop. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and then that little sob story, he tries to pull on Sonic, who's about to walk
Yes.
away. Like, no, please. And then out pops Sonic's about to help.
Yeah.
Out comes his master plans of how he's going to destroy Sonic. And then Sonic activates,
Just punches
has
the bomb, yeah.
detonator to make it go down faster.
I still like just the whole ending of the whole thing where it looks like, oh, Metal Sonic's about to get the upper hand, and then Knuckles just punches him out of nowhere.
Oh man, I was cracking up
Yeah,
in the
it's
Knuckles
so
episode.
good. God, I could talk about that cartoon all day.
Yeah. Hey, how about the live action movie? Oh, just about that, we gotta talk about this. And honestly, I really wish I really. Why aren't they getting these people who know what they're doing
Because
do more of the official stuff?
that would go against years and years of history. You know, you're talking about bucking tradition of not getting people who know what they're doing to actually perform these roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm surprised we even got Sonic Mania, honestly. I mean, I wish we would get a second one.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
have those guys.
I'm surprised
more.
we didn't get a second one out of them. Was it Headcanon, the guys who did it? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And Taxman.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't know. Sega seems to sort of not like success anymore, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
What's this weird green
all
stuff
the-
that keeps coming into a bank account? I don't like it. Get rid of it.
yeah. All they seem to understand is fans like.
It reminds them too much of Xbox.
It all makes sense.
Well, just throw in Green Hill Zone and think of the rest later.
Okay. random question. Everyone here, favorite Sonic game?
Ooh.
And go.
Oh, tough. For me, it's either 2 or 3.
It's definitely 2 for me. I have the best memories of it. I think it laid down most of the
Yeah, I've got to say,
groundwork that 3 built on. I think it's got some of my favorite levels. It's got some of my favorite music. It introduced Supersonic, which is like a cornerstone of the series now.
And
I just
Silver
think
Sonic.
2 is the big one for me.
Silver Sonic as well.
Sonic
And
Jam.
or Pseudo-Sonic, depending on how you interpret it. But either way, the point is, I really feel like 2 is my favorite.
Sonic Jam, eh?
Oh yeah, it's got all
Sonic
the other
Jam
games
does not
included.
count.
Sonic Jam does not count.
Cannot count
Potentially.
compilations. But that said, I'm going to include the Sonic Genesis Mega Collection thing they have
The
on
world
every
part. The world part was fascinating.
Where's the one
It's
where
a
you
shame
turn
they
into a
couldn't
Oh
have
yeah, the 3D.
thing?
Oh yeah.
That's Sonic
created that
Unleashed.
into a proper
Oh, there we
Sonic
go, yeah.
3D game.
Never played it. I just know he turned into a werewolf
I've
for some
not
reason.
played the game. All I've
Werehog.
seen is the opening animation, which was rather nice.
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
opening.
Sonic Unleashed is half of a really
Delicious.
good game.
Yeah, Robotnik did
I,
something
uh,
to the Chaos
recently,
Emeralds
started playing-
that released Dark Gaia from the world.
no,
and he got Sonic got like Dark Gaia power in him or something like that. And released this werehog thing at night.
Huh.
Yeah,
I think
we-
Dark
we-
Gaia is Sonic Buff Sonic.
Oh god. Yes,
I think
that
the
is.
reason that Sonic Unleashed is just looked upon so fondly by the fandom was because, and this is going to sound corny, but you could tell that there was a lot of love put into that game. You could tell that they really did genuinely try to make that game good.
No, you're right. I mean, the music, the artwork. Like, if you go and look at like the artwork you collect in the game,
It's
there's
definitely an ambition in Unleashed that hasn't really been seen in the series since.
yeah.
I would
the
argue
only
it was
problem
better
is,
a little bit at least.
I remember years back, I was like, "Wow, the Wii version's amazing," and then, well, actually, I haven't played the Wii version in a while. So for all I know, maybe I still really like it. But I remember people kept saying, "Oh no, the HD console versions are a million times better." I'm like, "All right, let me give it a go," and they look amazing. The Werehog, I'm not a fan of it, but the surprise there, I know. But the combat's more refined compared to like the 1 or 2 moves they give him in the Wii version. But the Sonic stages, they look great. I like the handling in some of the sections, like giving him the drifting, but it's too fast. If they had to find a way to counterbalance, like I love going fast in the old games because I feel like I can still rebound, I can still get regain control, but this one I'm like, no, not that way. No.
The funny thing about the speed of the old games is that it's worth remembering a lot of it's really kind of an illusion. You actually don't spend as much time as you might necessarily think or remember you did going as fast as you might think you did.
Oh yeah, I remember the level layouts more than the speed.
I'm
Well,
going to say something
was anyone
shameful.
else
For the longest time,
disappointed?
I didn't
Yeah,
know the
well,
point of
exactly,
those games
because
was
the
to
truth
do
of the
it
matter
fast.
is, the whole processing is a bit of a lie. So it's just it's funny to think about what does and doesn't inform the design principles of those games.
But for the longest time, I didn't even know the point was to go and complete the level as fast as possible. I thought it was a collectathon, like, got to make sure I get all the rings and all the monitors and make sure I get all the special stage rings. It's like, you're supposed to do it quickly. I see.
Dude,
wait, that's
cool on that. I could get
forgot.
Supersonic within the first stage of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Before I
Oh,
say
yeah.
my favorites, who in here was stuck in that very particular spot in Sonic 3?
Are you talking about Carnival
I
Nights?
hate cylinders.
Yes.
The drum in
The up
Carnival
and down.
Nights? Yeah.
And who would have
down.
felt like a complete tool
Great design.
when they found out how to
Let's put
get
in a
past
mechanic.
it?
It's a perfect design idea. Put in a mechanic that doesn't show up anywhere else in the level and will never show up anywhere else in the game at a spot that is otherwise impossible to get past.
funny about
I
that is how
remember
many
someone-
times I've heard that people's parents were the ones who got them out of that because they didn't play the game, and so the kids would be frustrated, and the parents were like, "Well, let me try," and then they would do the obvious thing to them, would just move up and down because that's what you want to do.
Yeah, like, have you tried up and down, son? Mom, you don't push up and down on a Sonic game. Hey, I got past. I will.
Yep.
And then you threw it back in.
It actually
your
reminds me
controller
of
in your
years
face
ago.
and
I
walked off
was
saying,
on
"Get
the
good,
Mario
scrub."
to select screen.
I don't think
That's
anyone
true,
in the
because you never
history.
use those mechanics anywhere else in any of the games.
Never. Ever. You don't press up and down to move a platform. Where
I
the
mean,
heck do you ever do that?
We've
I
got a
mean,
question in
if
the
you had to
chat from
use
Laura.
your spin dash or something to
Question from Laura in the chat, apparently.
yeah, that. I mean, if there was like a sign or something in the back that just showed a robot jumping up and down or something, or no, that would not work.
That would not work. That's what gets you stuck.
We have a question from Laura in the chat, apparently.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
there's just no. It's
Just asking, anyone's completed Sonic Spinball?
Not without.
I've gotten
that's
so
classic.
close.
It is frustrating.
So close, but I've never quite been able to pull it off. I've made it all the way to the last level. I've gotten all the emeralds. I've gotten so close, but I could never quite pull it off.
I only played it when I was really young, and I never got past the second level.
The funny thing is, I can get past the first, third, and fourth level. I can't get past the second one. So, I would
just get bored.
To the third one.
My favorite games, it's a kind of a tie between Sonic Mania, Sonic 2, and Sonic Generations.
Generations was good, but can they stop with classic Sonic now, please?
No, they gotta throw him in every other game, and then constantly establish how he's from another dimension.
It would
Was
be
anyone
perfect
else
if it
just-
was more.
Did anyone here play Forces?
From the past.
Yeah.
From another dimension.
Okay, wait. I
Started
got a
it,
question.
I got bored and I stopped.
Okay,
I
was
forced
anyone else
myself
just?
to.
Hey, I'm messing with. Is anyone else just totally floored by the fact that you couldn't use the D-pad for classic Sonic and Forces?
What?
Yeah, because why
I'm
would
generally just
that would-
floored by how badly they handled classic Sonic in that game in general. Like, I don't know whose bright idea it was to rejigger his physics engine completely, but they need to be fired.
Yes.
why does this look worse than the Generations version of Green Hill Zone?
I've never actually played it, so
Don't play it
Don't.
unless you can get it for
It's
free.
not. The thing about Forces is it's not a bad game. Like, there's enough
You just
going on.
regret
There's
it.
like, oh, this is actually kind of neat. I like
Arguably, you
making
could say
up
Sonic Heroes isn't a bad game.
It's just boring. Like
Yeah,
the character creator was the best part of the game.
I don't know why they got the control system from Sonic Unleashed. I found it to be a bit too slidey. I thought Sonic Colors did a great job with the controls.
I didn't think I'd say this, but Sonic Lost World, as much of an identity crisis as that game was, at least it felt fresh compared to the Boost Happy series. Like, I like the Boost gameplay, but it's like, have you guys played that Sonic Sonic and the Secret Rings, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, that the tilting, it's fun at first, I guess, but then after a while, you're like, I kind of want to do something else. That's how I felt about the boost to win gameplay. I'm like, this is kind of fun, but I'd rather be able to curl up in a ball, a spin dash and rev, and try to make that gap that I'm not supposed to, because I don't care what the programmer wants me to do. I want to break the level. I just miss,
I just sort of feel it's the thing I just keep running into with all of the more recent Sonic games. It's like there's actually enough going on there that genuinely works and feels like it could be a really good game, but they're so sloppy, and they're so willing to leave all these unfinished edges on the margins. It just sort of starts to add up into a real drag. Like, the level design in Forces is so freaking dull.
Oh, next.
I think you just summed up the whole game there. The character design. I'm like, oh, hey, this is what we've all been wanting to do for years, right? And what did the main character or the main Sonic's best friend for this one game only show up? What was his or her role again?
Sonic, what game's this?
The game that probably shouldn't have been. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there were fans, but Sonic Forces.
Oh, okay.
I remember.
Sonic calling as close to a Sonic Forces fan as you're going to find. Because there's too much in that game that I think is actually genuinely interesting and conceptually sound for the franchise. For me to dismiss it out of hand, but it's you can't ignore the level design is bad. The classic Sonic stuff is really forced. It's
a waste of
so
a good,
indecisive about everything.
A waste of a potentially good storyline.
Yes.
Like Robotnik or Eggman's taken over. Oh no, Sonic's captured. Oh hey, we won. Yeah, the game's like 4 hours long,
and it's really weird to me how much the broad strokes of that narrative parallel the Sad AM Archie story. It's like, really, you've spent the better part of like 20 years now flagrantly ignoring this, and now you're just gonna kind of crib the bare minimal for this new game. Like, I don't know, that feels really weird to me.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it feels like they said, hey, let's do what we did with Generations. All right, let's make a whole new. No, let's just rehash what fans like about it, and it should be okay.
The thing that really gets me about at least from what I've seen of Forces, was just how bland the world looked. That's what really got me. It's like it didn't have any flavour. It just looked like medieval Europe, or any other like European city. It's like there's just
I can't remember any.
Yeah, nothing stood out. Nothing said to me, "Hey, this is." Well, I hate to use the word Mobius, but this is Sonic's world.
Future Earth.
Cue His World by Crush 40.
I'm not. Oh my god! The fact that I can say I remember more from Sonic 06 than I do Sonic Forces.
I do too, but not necessarily in a positive sense.
Is it Eggman's sexy face without his glasses?
Well, I mean, if they took away the load times and actually programmed it and actually made the... to be fair, I can't let the other 3D games off the hook. I was playing Sonic Adventure on my Xbox One, and I was going in a straight line and just fell through the floor.
Whoops.
And it was my last life, too. I was laughing. I'm like, hey, it sucks I have to do this over again, but that was funny. Yeah.
Okay, next. We're going off the game topic for a bit. I'm going to give you this chance. Plug your new comic.
Oh, God. Me and Breaker, we're currently working on what we're calling it's a Sat AM reimagining in a similar vein to how they did Battlestar Galactica in the 2000s. We're trying to keep things as faithful to the show as we can, but in a kind of just a slightly new light. It's called Knothole. We're currently in production of the first chapter of Pages. We've actually got a Christmas short coming out, hopefully next week, with a little fancy surprise that my writer Breaker's put together. So yeah, look out for that. And we're hopefully planning on having... We're still kind of trying to decide how we want to handle the page releases going forward. Our plan is to have at least 10 for people to just get their teeth into. And then after that, we're trying to decide if we want to do an issue-based format, or if we want to do it like a weekly page-based, a bit like Season 3. So we're still kind of trying to work that one out. But yeah, if you want to see more of the Strangers, at the moment we're doing these gag things called Knothole Theatre, which is out-of-character, non-canon stuff. Just a bit of fun. Keeps me drawing the characters, at least on model, for the most part. So if you want to check those out, that's twitter.com/Knothole Team.
And for everyone's information too,
found it.
FUS, this website which hosts season 3 and all that, will be hopefully going under pretty much a major redesign in the next month or two, and you'll be able to read Knothole on the site. We're going to host both season 3 and Knothole together.
Nice.
So
Very cool.
These guys are real dedicated people. They're doing an awesome job over there. They're really, really awesome SatAM fans.
Go Team Venture.
If fun enough, the reason why we actually chose Knothole Team was actually just take a pop at Team. Was it Sega Team? It was to take a pop at their Twitter account. So we were like, yeah, we could do their job better than they can. We really can't.
Actually, I don't. Should you really even have to gloat about it?
What, that we could do Sega's job better than they can? I don't know.
Well,
Tell you what,
I
ask
mean,
you that question
care
next
about
year.
Sonic.
Do you have any drawings of Knothole you can share with us?
Yeah,
Thanks.
let's
Oh.
what have we got on here? Let's see what we've got on the iPad, because most of it's on the iPad.
Hey, break. Show some
Hey,
people.
can I interrupt for a
Oh,
second?
I'm just looking at the artwork and I am loving it.
These are some of the Sally poses we're working on for the Sally model sheet, just so I can make sure I'm drawing it correctly, making sure that we're keeping everything on model. From the little quirk of one strand of hair always falling past on the right side. I want to say right side of the face. Yeah, right side of the face. Making sure the jacket looks all right. Making sure that the boots look right. Making sure I keep Nicole on the right right boot leg. It keeps switching. I'm rubbish at that. So that's Sally.
Cool pick. Those are
Great.
excellent.
That's the Halloween picture we did.
Oh, I just saw the Halloween special thing you guys did.
Yeah, we actually
I
did.
really like Martin Fly Sonic.
The whole of oh yes, you can all have this one because everyone loves Rebecca. The Inktober, since everyone was doing that, we chose that as the opportunity to do our little Knothole theatre gag strips, just to keep engagement going with the site while we're actually doing the main thing. Sorry.
How to realize what Bunny Rabbit was dressed up as.
Oh, you worked it out.
Yeah,
Sure.
she's the robot from Alien.
She
that
is.
Alien
Yes.
movie.
She's the power.
Alien
loader.
2, I think.
Ripley.
Yeah, she's Ripley in the power loader.
I haven't even watched the Alien, and I was playing the game recently.
This is a little.
But, oh no, I remember the scene with her in the machine. Oh, that is awesome.
Here's a
I was
really
gonna
tiny
say,
Easter
though-
egg that no one was ever going to get to see once I actually resized it. But if you look
Robotnik.
really closely at Antoine's Gambit cards,
Oh,
Explosion.
oh, hey, he's in there. Cool. I didn't know that.
I personally love Antoine on this one.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's having fun. So,
Oh, King Eight.
oh,
That's well done.
it's a really
Ah,
tiny
that's
Easter egg
cool.
that no one will
Cool.
ever see. But I've just put it in there because I enjoyed it.
I have a quick question. The Robotnik design.
Yeah.
That's based off. I remember seeing that design before. It's based off another version, right?
This is the original, the redone version of it. It was originally based on a design we pumped out back in 2006, where he had this big high collared thing. But we decided later on down the line we kind of wanted to make his build more like the Kingpin rather than this traditional SatAM. Although the plan is to have him get a bit more obese as the story goes on. But as he starts out, he's more bulked out. A bit more menacing looking. Most of the camera angles were kind of having him looking down at you.
It's like what they should have done, and if they were going to make him look good in the Sonic 06 game, without.
Yes, a lot of people have mentioned that the plugs on his suit were reminding them of Sonic 06.
Yeah, the extra battery chargers, outlets, whatever they were.
Yeah, some of the Robians.
And got Gluck in there.
As Tim has pointed out in Season 3, really that we've got Rust Bucket in there, although we call him Big F.
Oh, Rust Bucket. That was... You know what? Actually, I really enjoyed that chapter.
Yeah, that one was very personally important to me, just because, again, Bunny somehow never got her own episode in the original series, so I was really looking forward to doing a story all about her.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
those robots. They're so
She
volumetric.
got that. Yeah,
That
she only had
was-
side plots.
That was a really
But-
fun chapter to do. It was fun coming up with the zombie robot designs, and that was the first comic that I started doing traditional drawing and inking in, which was a really fun experience. Chapter 7 was great.
Fun little thing about the
Yeah.
SWAT designs. They're actually
I'm very
based
happy
on.
with how that one came out overall.
Sorry about that. The fun little thing about those SWATbot designs is they're actually based on all three incarnations. There's the white variant that was on the pilot, there's the sort of white and brown one that I think Archie had initially, and then there's the blue one.
Yeah.
So we thought, hey, why don't we make like Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3?
You know, when I was working on the when I was doing the first half of the Nicole-centered storyline,
Chapter 5?
before what?
Chapter 5?
Oh yes. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Before the Amazing Tim took over, because I forgot how to draw. Apparently, I remember thinking to myself, why do these things still look evil? Whatever, the show made them that way. I'm going to just make them friendly. Yeah, I remember watching or rewatching Blast of the Past, and I always assumed Robotnik would have redesigned them with like the spikes on their heads and stuff to make them more lethal looking or more threatening looking. But I don't know. I just thought that was a weird choice for the show. I don't know. I'm rambling.
Yeah, the fun thing was I didn't realise this until actually very recently. If you look at the pilot episode of them, I think in some of the early publication stuff, the spike on the top of the SWATbot's head is always coloured red, and it took me a while to realise, oh, they're trying to make it look like a cop car. That's why it's white and black.
Oh! Yeah, no, it's definitely meant to be, at least in the initial design, it's definitely meant to be a light of some kind.
Yeah, rather than like a German helmet type thing. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that's why they're called SWATbots. Oh, that makes more sense now. Ah, there we go. Realised this 20 years too late.
You know, I just remembered another thing about the SWATbots from the pilot. I remember that scene where Snively's about to follow right through the door after Robotnik, and don't they close it on him or something?
Yeah, and they laugh at him.
And, yes. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, they have personality. That's weird. Yeah, there are some things I don't know, like, it wouldn't make sense for them to have personality, but at the same time, they could have had some fun with that. I mean, worked it in a way it would still be serious.
Well, didn't they try to put some variants out? They had like the SWATbot commander in one episode where looks like he's wearing Saiyan armor.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
It's like the only variant you see of them. Oh, sorry there.
Sorry to budge in, but I noticed a question that's quite old. Where was it? It's about... it's not that old. Where is it? Let's see. Wise one, are you... Wise one asks, are you allowed to reveal info about the Italian animation studio you brought up previously without Keith being further caged? So I'll just answer that quickly. Yes, well, can't go into details about the studio, but we decided to we'll contact them again for the actual episode, because right now we're concentrating on the trailer and they didn't have time earlier on. So we've got a new group in to get the trailer done, and then once we've got the trailer done, depending on how things go, we'll be seeing about getting back in contact with them and a load of other people, hopefully. And then we can go full steam ahead with the rest of the episode. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, because we've got about 2 studios that actually are willing to work with us. They're just busy at the moment, so we decided to push the trailer out with other animators. And once the trailer's done, then hopefully those studios will have free time that we can start working on where we're at. And that's where Patreon is really, really nice because, well, right now it's $700 a month, so we can afford to hire more animators and slowly push out more scenes. It's, trust me, animation, it's complicated and long, especially what we're trying to do here.
Animation is
It's not simple.
Do you ever get the feeling that with
that's
the
like
amount
trying
of
to conduct a preparing for an orchestra or something.
Pardon?
So,
do you ever get
I actually have to get going here.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, nice of you to join us.
Okay.
I guess you got to head off to work or whatever.
yeah.
No, thank you very much. It was really great to have you.
nice seeing you
Yeah.
again? Nick?
Thank you for coming
Yeah,
here,
cheers.
Allison.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll catch you later.
Nice to
Don't
meet
be a
Thank you for
stranger.
your time.
I will be back.
Okay,
Thank
sounds
you.
good. All right, see you, Allison.
Bye.
There's a,
Yeah.
there's the thing with regards to animation, with the amount of new animations being greenlit at this moment in time. Obviously due to the beer bug
Cartoons.
and whatnot. Do you ever get a feeling there's a bit of a public skew on how fast they think animations can be put out? Like they see all these new cartoons and stuff being announced and all these trailers and stuff being pushed forward. They probably think, oh, animation takes no time at all. They're pushing out shows left, right, and centre all of a sudden. Do you feel that there's a bit of a
You have
public
to do
skew
it.
towards that?
Just
Oh,
pushing a
just how fast
button
it pushes
and
stuff?
it'll be done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's more of a
Personally.
good question for Keith on that one.
Personally, no more than it has been since the beginning of time, because it's just easy to underestimate how long it takes to draw hundreds and hundreds of thousands of drawings.
Here's something I
I
learned
think
from Keith.
what's-
Here's something I learned from Keith. These ears should not be pointy. Yeah, that's what
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the
they should
information
be
you
rounded.
learn on the Patreon. So get subscribed, kids.
Yeah, lots of useful information on there. Wait, why are you on Patreon?
Why am I on? Because I support you guys. Why do you think I'm on Patreon?
You should be getting stuff for free because you are supporting, in a different way.
Oh, don't you worry.
So,
Chief occasionally gives me an occasional tidbit here and there. He keeps me entertained.
I keep him going, but don't let him.
Wait, I thought
paying
Paul
us.
said I had to become a Patreon.
You did. You have to.
I think.
You have to
Who's
give us
the-
$50 a month.
It's a question for Tim. Who's the artist who did Little Nemo?
What?
The old comic.
Wait, the comic or the movie?
The movie is a disaster
I
of
guess.
many hands from
Yeah, but it was a nice looking disaster.
The comic, the
just so
original
many different
creator.
studios working on it. But I think Little Nemo's Windsor McKay, isn't it?
Who?
So we're talking about Windsor McKay.
Windsor
I think.
McKay, yes. Okay,
What's
yeah,
the
I
question?
believe he made a fun short film that really exaggerated how much work was involved to make an animated version of his comic, where they had guys carrying in like giant barrels of ink into his studio and huge pieces of paper with crates worth of paper, just to show the audience how much work was involved. It's quite funny. So yeah, just to answer the question, it's been going on since forever, this conception,
Long
not
time.
these misunderstanding how long it takes to draw cartoons.
No, but it's just drawing, right? You do it in your spare time. Probably takes you 20 minutes, yeah? Anyone who's
Oh,
ever had to
if
deal
only.
with a client
I'd be
knows
so
that
much richer.
argument.
Oh god, don't get me
Oh,
started.
I can only imagine.
See here.
I am so
Oh,
confused.
I think my favorite is whenever someone needs my help with something I'm working on, if it's a drawing or doing something digitally or like 3D digitally, and they're like, "Well, how long will it take for you to finish?" I'm like, "I don't know.
How long is a piece of string?
I don't know."
Depends on where you cut it.
Yeah. Us
they'll-
artists are good at
It
underestimating.
depends on if my boss wants to hire me again or not.
Do you ever go, oh yeah, it would be done in a couple of weeks, and then a few months pass?
Yeah, I've been like this on the comic. It's like, oh yeah, sure, you'll get the page, by the end of the week, and then like next week, I'm like, yeah, I kind of had an artiste moment where I was like, it's not working, throw it in the bin, I'm gonna start over.
Actually,
That actually happened with page 5.
I think a week or so ago, Paul, you want me to look up or find a drawing I did for you, and I was like, oh sure, I can find it from no problem, and I'm like, wait, I can't find it in my email. I don't want to draw it again. Where is it? So I'm scavenging the FUS board. I had to have uploaded it at some point. Where, and the whole time I'm finding all these trips down memory lane. Like the time you had me redraw that scene of Sonic, Tails, Sally, and the other freedom fighters jumping out of the hole in the, what was it, 3rd chapter? You're like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I remember that.
All I heard was,
As do
what? And
I.
it broke off.
Yeah. Steven, you broke off. You're gone.
Man down.
Am I still here?
You're there,
Can you
yeah.
still hear me?
Hear you now.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Boom, boom.
Saber's little icon is just look. Steven's icon is just green now, and I can't hear a thing.
I knew he was just using his phone, so he probably has some issues with it.
Oh,
Yeah, he was mentioning at the start. I seem to remember that he was having a similar problem.
Oh, there he
he's
goes.
gone out now.
Man down.
He's
Man down.
probably
Okay,
going to
well,
come back in here in a second.
Yeah. But we are going on 2.5 hours here,
no,
guys, so we
we're
should probably
fine.
start wrapping up pretty soon.
Really? I didn't feel it's been that long
Yeah.
at all.
It's been 2.5 hours.
Wow, why draw slow?
Well, the
If I gotta speed up,
Sonic
I'll start whipping you.
Sonic 2 HD
Hey, I
streams
just
go
found
on
out if
for
my phone
quite a
goes
while.
off. It drops the call for me.
Well, this is our sort of last stream for the year, so I don't think we're going to do another one before
You mean-
now in the New
I
Year's.
mean, I'm not getting my
Happy
thing on.
holidays!
So, happy holidays,
Wearing
everyone.
a mask.
Yeah, wear a
Wear a
mask.
mask.
Yeah.
Save
Do the
Santa.
responsible thing and put the fabric over your face.
Yes, no nose masking. Oh god, that reminds me. I saw an
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic thing a few weeks back. It's like the epitome of nose masking. It's a dude who's wearing one of those paper masks. He'd rolled it just under his nose, like it was a fake mustache, and he had a lit cigarette in his mouth. I just wanted to watch him to see if his face was going to burst into flames.
Oh, that sounds safe.
Wear a mask. Cover your nose and mouth. Do not put your mask below your nose. That is an improper way to wear it. You are not doing anybody
Or
any
under the
favors
chin.
by doing it.
Do not lick toilet seats.
You're not
That's
my
bad.
mom.
Don't just do that in general.
Fence.
No, they're fine. Toilet seats are fine.
Just don't leave
Don't know
your
what you're talking
house.
about.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
yeah, it's not a bad idea.
You can't tell me what to do. You're not even a real dad.
okay, well, let's get this thing wrapped up, guys. So,
Okay, that will end on
oh,
Happy Sally.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. We will keep on posting stuff on our Patreon. So just keep updated there. We might have another video we're going to toss out on YouTube in the next little bit or before the new year, but it won't be another stream. Otherwise, that's about it. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, and
You're
for
very welcome.
everyone looking for tasty
This was very
updates,
fun.
there's going to be hopefully a page on Monday. Chief. There's a little
Yes, there is.
extra treat coming on Monday, courtesy of myself and Ink Pants,
Boy.
if he's in the chat. And myself and Breaker also have the Not All Christmas special with a little spicy extra coming out next week as well.
Ooh,
Perfect,
hopefully
so-
not too spicy.
Ooh, very spicy.
Well, Keith, you'll probably look at it and go, ha, who are these amateurs?
It'll be like
Oh, I mean,
Sonic
it's-
spicy.
Never mind.
Well, Chief's already seen it.
Yes,
he knows what's
that
coming.
sort of spicy.
Did I see it? Oh, I did see it. Yes,
Yes.
that's right. Showed me the other day. Couldn't even remember.
Trains fans,
Well, if
Discord
it's
link is
anything
going to be right on our Patreon. That's where you can find the way to our Discord.
Perfect. There's Sally saying happy holidays as she washes Bunny's hair.
Sid, have any questions
Oh,
that we'll miss?
My everything got canceled off. Sorry.
The Not Whole Comics coming next year. Before we quit the stream, you want to talk about that quickly?
Yeah, if you want
When
to.
you release
As far as the Not Whole comic goes, ideally we're looking to start pushing out the first. Well, we're not really calling them chapters; we're calling them arcs. We're getting the first arc pumped out. Hopefully within the first. I hate saying the word quarter here, but within the first few months of the new year. So look forward to that. It's going to be hosted on the Season 3 website. Thankfully, thanks to Chief, and so check it out there. For other updates, because Breaker is going to be posting little tidbits here and there. He likes keeping people engaged. The Twitter is always usually pretty active, so check up there for the random Not Whole Theatre nonsense that goes on there as well. For stuff like Out of Character Editor Sally.
Well, it's going to be on the Fans United for SADAB website, not the Season website.
Yeah.
Season and Not Whole are going to have their own section.
Yeah, I just kind of put them all under one blanket.
Yeah, they'll be in their own sections, but it'll all be
Hey,
on
are
the
you still?
website.
Season 3 kind of
Are you guys
supplanted
still-
FUS in my mind. As far as I'm, it's like back in the old days, it used to be the FUS comic. Now it's all Season 3, so I have difficulty differentiating between the two.
Okay. Anyways, happy holidays, guys, and we'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Have a good one, everyone.
Now, how do I turn this thing off?
Take care.
You hit it with a mallet.
Pull